Yep, catches the heads, yep.
Mick Fanning tossing the coin, winner of bells.
Let me just clear that up, Dennis, about the surfing. If you live in Torquay, which I did for a couple of years, and you say you're a surfer, you actually need to be a very good surfer. I do like the surf. I'm a big fan of Mick Fanning's, but just wanted to clear that up. Lingy's the surf expert downstairs.
He who apologises too much. So we're set to go. This should be a beauty this afternoon. Lee was talking about one of the unsung heroes of the Cats, and I'd be interested to get Tom's view on it too. Corey Enright, twice best and fairest, turns 31 in September, 4 times All-Australian, 3 premierships, just 13 career Brownlow votes.
Yeah, I mean, the really important thing with Corey Enright, we just see some of the key matchups on the screen, is he won his best and fairest in premiership years. An outstanding player, long-time vice-captain of the footy club. Joel Selwood and Sam Mitchell, would love to see them go head-to-head. It'd be interesting. Great insight from Cameron Ling on how to play Sam Mitchell. And Jared Roughead, looks like he's starting forward for the Hawks. He is. And obviously Tom Hawkins and Sean Makers, we predicted the matchup also. Harry Taylor to Roughead, Hale to Mackey, and Lonigan to Franklin.
It's a big game, and you expect the big umpires. Stephen McBurney, 4 grand finals. Shane McInerney, 2 grand finals. And Dean Margetts, so highly rated. We're set to rumble under a very cloudy sky at the MCG. Umpire McBurney. The study and concentration. Opening bounce is a good one. One down by West. Geelong going with just the one big fellow. It's going to be a free kick to Mitchell. Talked about him pre-game. What a player. Drives it down inside the 50 as the rain begins to fall. Difficult ball to mark. Enright got a fist on it. Hunt back to Enright. Falls short of the man it was intended for. Motlop. Chance for Burgoyne. Coming hard there was Guerra. Still a loose ball to be won. Guerra's sitting over the top of it. Wishes he wasn't. Stokes grabs him. Umpire says that's holding it. So the die is cast. No margin due to the wet weather.
Free kick.
Yeah, we saw this about 40 minutes before the opening bounce. We had a hailstorm now. Not quite that heavy at the moment. There's a bit of blue sky overhead, believe it or not. So Guthrie, one of those youngsters that we've talked about in the pre-match. 4 of them under 10 games for the Cats. A little like Collingwood against Hawthorn.
Just want to show you this first centre bounce here, and this is exactly what Lingy was talking about. See the positioning there of Chapman on Mitchell? Well, Mitchell gets on the outside, actually pushes Chapman inside, and that's what Lingy was talking about. The roles reversed, yeah.
So Rioli down low, and then Birchall. High. Hey, Tim, you have to come back. What were the, is it very windy? I mean, it's windy here. Is it favouring an end or not, or is it just all over the place?
It's all over. It's all over the place, Macca.
So Hawkins, well done, Show Makers, had to get the fist in. Motlop down low, and then Gibson to Show Makers, and Show Makers raking kick, unfortunately for him, hits Mackey on the chest.
It's a good start there from Andrew Mackey. He's playing deep on David Hale, who stayed deep inside the forward 50 for the Hawks. We'll need to be aware of Andrew Mackey's offensive run.
Up to Podsy Adderley, kicks inside the forward 50 then. Guerra from the side of the pack, off hands, falls in front. Swept forward by the small Crummer, grabbed by Johnson, and he snaps it through. Terrific work by Christensen.
Here's something refreshing. Toyota Hybrid Synergy Drive. Already enjoyed by over 3 million drivers worldwide. It seamlessly combines 2 engines, 1 petrol, 1 electric, giving you extra performance as well as extremely quiet driving with fewer emissions. And best of all, you can expect ultra-low fuel consumption. Toyota Hybrid Synergy Drive. It's simply a better way to drive.
Nothing puts pressure on a defence like getting the ball in there quickly. Joel Corey actually made position, but he was out wide. He got burnt. They just want to get the ball to that scoring part of the ground and then just work off the pack.
Play on.
So a couple of great Cats fans there. Darryl does love his Cats, says Enright. Lewis, well done to Ruffy, and then Ruffy goes bang! Well, welcome back, Jared.
Alistair Clarkson has spoken all week about the importance of Jared Rufford. He's the vice-captain of the football club. Great to see him get his hands on the ball early. It's the centre clearance, Tim, and like the long kick that came in before, the amount of pressure that's now put on key defenders when the ball comes in quickly. There's a turnover there from Corey Enright, but Jordan Lewis driving through, and that's a great start for Jared Rufford.
Gee, he looks, I mean, it's silly to say that a footballer looks fit, but he looks really fit, doesn't he?
He does. He does. I remember where it was Wayne Campbell, I think, popped his Achilles doing a celebratory run like that, but he's up and about, hugely important.
He kicked it with feeling as well, didn't he? Expunging that frustration of rehabbing. Strong kick, accurate kick. Chapman missed the footy after Mitchell missed it before him. Roughhead does well. Back to Mitchell, to Lewis, goes down towards Hawthorn. Rioli sandwiched between two. Camped in front, Bateman away to Sewell. Hurried kick, floats it down towards the pocket. Going back is Lonigan, and he takes the defensive mark. And now 50. I'm assuming it's against Hale. Lonigan runs up towards the wing, wasting no time. 1-on-1 down the ground, so real chance for the Cats here in front. Podsiadly knocked out of there by Suckling. Podsiadly finds the loose ball, centering kick. Battle down in the forward pocket, leading back. Christensen, or is it Motlop? It's Motlop who tries to knock it away. Sock it off the ground there by Stratton. Comes back in his direction. Motlop does well again. Well, gee, that was ambitious. And one of the smaller players there, Mitchell, who was 5 metres away, ball up.
I think Scott might have been disappointed with that kick then from Motlop too, because he's outside 50. It really had to go to the top of the square.
Macaulay and West, and then a quick kick by Christensen to about 30 metres. Gibson, Roughhead just ran across in front of him. No free to the Cats. They were looking for one. Burgoyne tries to break the tackle. Clever handball in the end to Gibson, to Suckling, who sort of hacks it towards the line. And here's Enright over the top to Taylor. And then Taylor looks up to Kelly. So Geelong, a couple of kicks away from goal.
Really strong defensive structure. The Hawthorn player had nowhere to go. Taylor, Kelly and Enright all set up, and the wall all end up getting a touch.
So Kelly kicks it to about 30 metres. Christensen's been lively early, right to the front of the goal square. Burgoyne, good mark, not paid. Motlop. Johnson, free kick in the back.
It was a nervous tackle from Savage then, wasn't it? Some players, and Steve Johnson certainly comes into this category, when they get their ball, the opposition players panic because he's going to do something. Jono just drops the knees.
And he always does something from the set shot. He hates going straight on, does the hook and gets his second goal for the match.
Amy's Safe Driver Rewards took me here. I can now indulge in a few more pleasures.
I think I know you.
But with 15% off my insurance, I can afford to.
You Rhonda.
Tiramakasi.
No. You stay. Beautiful driver. Beautiful brake foot.
Amy's Safe Driver Rewards offer up to 15% discount for drivers who don't claim. Where will the savings take you?
Rhonda is mine.
Al Clarkson won't be happy about this at all. Just look at the players there around the mark. He'd be wanting players to be more aware than what they were there. That's a sign of whether players are really on or not.
Margin 6 points. Cats up. Roughhead taps it down. West goes after it. Sewell brilliantly done. Trapped it effectively. Mitchell didn't find a teammate. Slapped out of there by Chapman. Gathered by Selwood. Selwood feeds it back. Smets on the ground. Bartell creates his own space. Penetrating kick inside the forward 50. Big pack at the drop. Falls in front. Spare man is Geelong's. Well controlled down there by Sewell, and again he slaps it out. Gee, he's working hard, Brad Sewell. It's going to be a free kick. And it's going to Birchall. But Sewell, the hero, a couple of times in there, just getting low and getting the football out to advantage. High ball towards the wing, untouched. It bounces in front of our commentary position. Rioli got it from Osborne. Clever by Roughhead to Bruce. Goes down towards the pocket. Well, sort of. Also goes wide towards the city. Let's go down to Cameron Ling.
Be interesting to see the way Hawthorn's elite kicking out of defence goes in these conditions. It's wet and a bit windy. Geelong sets up a great defensive structure. Will Hawthorn's pinpoint passes? Not like that one, boys.
And then Franklin off the ground. That was the Cats, of course, with it, but almost cut off. And then Enright just has to sort of get it as far as he can. He did a good job there. Mitchell and Kelly in a one-on-one. Podsiadly went to ground. Mitchell gets it from Gibson in the forward 50. Free kick probably to Whitecross, no. And then Schmitz coming out of it, or Duncan to centre wing. One-on-one, Chapman there with Birchall and also Stokes. Guerra pulled off it. Kelly toe pokes it forward. Whitecross in hard. There was Selwood all over the top of him. Well done by the Cat. and that will be a ball up in the heart of the centre square.
Really keen to keep an eye on Mitchell and James Kelly. At times they look like they're running reasonably close together. James Kelly hunted the ball on that occasion. Sam stayed out, so we'll keep an eye on that one.
Weston McCauley hammered forward by Kelly. Opportunity for Savage now off hands. He sends it down towards half forward. Propped in front is Hale. Falls free at the back. Enright gets back. Lays it off Smits. Wide is still to Taylor. Keep looking for Scarlett, but he's not there. Ball goes towards the wing. Slapped down by Podsiadly. Finding a way through was Motlop. Released the ball cleverly across to Bartell. Didn't look. Had a little more time than he thought. And Stratton in defence.
Sorry, Dennis, that's Hawthorn's first mark.
Suckling drives it towards the wing. That's a telling kick. Whitecross had a decision to make. As it turns out, perhaps would have been better to hang back. Kelly tackled by Whitecross close to the boundary. West wants the boundary.
Interesting ruck duel, this one, West and McCauley. West has been around for a number of years now. Premiership player, needs to exert his experience over the young Hawthorn ruckman.
You say that, Tom, but he hasn't played a whole lot of footy, has he, Westy? I mean, he's been at the club for a long time. Took him until late last year really to establish himself. Of course, Otten's that giant shadow. Why am I telling you things like that?
That's his, I mean, his role now is the #1 ruckman at the footy club, so needs to, I mean, his career is certainly tracking in the right way, just needs to exert some authority over the younger player.
Well, a good chance today, isn't it? So Enright from Bartell to Corey. So Joel Corey centre wing. Long ball to centre half forward. Not a good kick, actually. Didn't time it at all well. And Guerra. Lingy made a good point, didn't he, about kicking today, just how difficult it might be in these conditions. Hawthorn, as Tim said, just the one mark. They're having trouble finding their men at the moment. Podsiadly brought down by Guerra. And is that going to be... What is it going to be?
Three against.
No genuine attempt, James. Must make a genuine attempt. Come out, guys, Josh, come out.
So Guerra in the back half. Stevie Johnson with a couple of goals and Jared Ruffhead at the other end. So 2-1 so far.
Stratton from right half back. Miscues with the kick. Awkward half volley for Mackey. Knocked it forward, but straight to Whitecross. Left foots it down towards half forward. Bartell read it nicely. Miscues with a kick. Finds Johnson on the bounce. Winning it back, Whitecross. Left it for Johnson. Then it's pretty slippery down there. Comes out towards Osborne. Hit the pack hard. Johnson on his knees. Knocked out by Guthrie. Oh, clever by Taylor Hunt. Just gave it across to Burns, a late inclusion. And that's why he's there. He's a beautiful kick. And that one, no exception. Finds Podsiadly. So now the sun is shining. We've had 4 seasons in one day. Of course, none of them summer. It's pretty cold still. Beautiful lead comes from Hawkins. Came of age on this ground last September.
That's disappointing for Hawthorn too, because that hole should have been filled in. There was just one place that the ball could have gone, and it was that direction, and there was not one Hawthorn defender there.
Runs around and kicks a goal. It goes through at about head height.
Honey, the game's about to start, so I'll just...
Immerse yourself in the action this season with a home theatre system from Harvey Norman. With a huge range from all the big brands, you'll be closer to the action than ever before.
Dad?
Harvey Norman, leader in the big game experience.
It's an absolute cardinal sin twice here. As Tim mentioned, there should have been a protective player there right in the hole. Sean Makers needs a bit of help. Hawkins basically dictated exactly where he went, but the more disturbing part was the snap-on goal and absolutely no one on the line. Alistair Clarkson has reason not to be happy about that.
Yeah, went through head high, didn't it? So Franklin into the centre square for the moment.
Oh, no advantage.
So Osborne's free kick.
50. Osborne's kick.
Chapman on Franklin it was.
Osborne 50.
Now that's undisciplined play then by Chappie, and it's really what we're talking about. We're trying to talk to Chris Scott about pre-game about the undisciplined acts that was shown last week. Just watch this again, just going back there. And I mean, look, there's not much in it, but Jordan, you just don't want to be drawn into a collision like that.
Jack, blood rule, Joel Selwood here. Off you go, Joel.
So Selwood comes from the ground for the blood rule.
All the players know that, Tim. All the players know that when it's a stop play like that, it is literally hands off, and that's just unnecessary.
Hey, Jordan, hey.
And I reckon if there's a couple of players you're going to go after at Geelong, it might be Stevie J. You may be thinking you can get under his skin, and Chappie might be the other bloke too that you'd be thinking maybe I can just unsettle him a little bit.
And Osborne would be on the Ballantyne list of top 10, wouldn't he?
Yes, he would.
Osborne.
Yeah, he'd definitely be up there.
I know he had nothing really to do with that, but he's got the ball now.
I don't know if we can blame him for that.
30 seconds start now, that's fine.
He likes the confrontation, does Osborne. It's been a terrific
Love to
player.
have him in your team.
Oh, yeah. Big role in that grand final all those years back, and that's not a great kick. Down low, and he misses. So Chappie will be more than happy that Osborne missed a chance there to hurt the Cats. So a bit of a flat start by the Hawks here. Geelong lead it by 18-7. Not a huge crowd. It's built up, but the weather has been foul in Melbourne for parts of the day.
West got a fist to it, knocked it down. Rough head quickly away. Gibson kicks it towards the half-forward line. Bounces just outside the 50. Rioli slapped it towards the boundary. Leading the race is Franklin, running out of space. They stifle his attempt to knock it back towards the middle. It's still a live ball. Mackey's got it. They've got him. Down he goes.
Now, Lingy, if you were out there, would you be now talking to Chappie, just trying to settle him down?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they can be forgiven for last week's effort, first game up, but you can't be doing that all over again. It cost them the game last week. This one's going to be a tight one. They can't afford to let it cost them the game again.
Ah, see? What goes around comes around. Chappie. Maybe he learned from Ballantyne. He's out towards right half back. And I'm just guessing too. If I were at a quiz night and somebody said who's Ballantyne's favourite player, the irony is I'm going Alistair Clarkson. Short one comes towards Duncan. It bounces down towards half forward. Storming up the ground is Savage. White cross. Guerra. Lewis. Such a good player, Lewis. Goes back to Burgoyne. Burgoyne off his step. Bit of space created out there. McCauley takes the mark. Plays on. Lacks marking of the mark there from the Cat. Burns inside the forward 50. One-on-one. And the mark is taken by guess who? Buddy Franklin coming up 5 goals. Simply too tall there for Mackey.
And Dennis, he actually had a look at who it was that he was manned up against then, and it was Mackey. He was going to go, he was going to lead, and in the end he said, no, kick the ball high. I've got this bloke covered for height. And
the technique was absolutely spot on. A lot of less experienced players would have put the hands just rested on the back. He's just fronted up the Dermot Brereton chest, stuck the Duke's out, and it stuck.
Game number 144. Starting the day, 35 goals in 12 games against the Cats. Add that to the total.
TAB Sportsbet Market Update.
Jamie Rogers here from TAB Sportsbet. I hope you're enjoying today's blockbuster between the Cats and Hawks. Don't forget you can still bet live on the result of the game as well as which player will score the first goal in each quarter. Check out all the live markets at tab.com.au and to bet live, give us a call on 133 390.
Great sight for all footy fans to see Jared Roughead back playing AFL level football. Started forward, now in the ruck, and as Bruce said, he's got a real spring in his step, and it's an encouraging start to the game for Jared.
Waits for West to go and sort of concedes it in a way and then tries to do a bit of roving. Well done, Sherwood, back on the ground after the cut. Mitchell, look away, handball. Smith, Kelly. Now, Smith, important he doesn't fall over here. Kelly harassing him cleverly, but Smith found the line. Look, he wants a free, but a boundary throw in.
And just watching that last centre bounce, which Roughead took against West, then pushed forward. So Trent West is really going to have his head on a swivel and be acutely aware of where Roughead goes after the contest.
So Roughead, and again, West over the top. Kelly. And then a toe poke by Duncan, only as far as Mitchell. Mitchell back to about 50. Hale did pretty well there because he had a couple of Geelong players, and then Osborne belts it off the ground. Rioli, cleverly done, beautiful play. He threaded the needle through the haystack there, didn't he?
That was so clever, wasn't it? To keep your head in that sort of pressure too. He could have blazed away for goal, but out, the right of his eye there, gee, that's a crunching tackle there from Buddy Franklin, who was manned up against Taylor while Holnigan was having a breather.
Had 6 last week, Buddy Franklin. 6 tackles, that is.
So Luke Bruce, who was the second leading goal kicker at the club last year behind Franklin, and he misses. So Osborne, that was a tougher one than Osborne's, admittedly, but last 5 minutes as the rain comes down again has been pretty good for the Hawks. They feel like they've just settled down again now.
What was it for Bruce? 30 and 18?
Yep.
Big effort.
really started to get their hands on the ball in the last 5 minutes, the Hawks.
Mackey drives it towards the outer side. There's a strong breeze, or appears to be one, looking at the flags across the ground almost. Meantime, back come the Hawks. Franklin gets on the end of it. Well done by Gibson with his right boot, if you don't mind. Okay, so he kicks straight here and they lead Hawthorn.
Do you always in trouble if you turn the ball over at this part of the ground after a kick in?
Well, you're out of position straight away, aren't you? And there are just holes everywhere, and ideally you'd have someone directly on a player of the calibre of Lance Franklin in general play, but at a kick in you can't.
1 more metre, thank you.
It's amazing with that distance shot there. The rain disappears, but it's coming down quite heavily as he moves inside the 50. Kick is good. He's got 2. At the other end, Johnson's got 2. Connoisseurs lapping it up.
The VB Raise a Glass appeal is one of the single biggest public contributions to veterans' welfare in Australia. This year, VB once again will donate $1 million to the RSL and Legacy. I'll be raising a glass to the men and women in the Middle East. Who will you raise a glass to?
Buddy Franklin now starting to get very dangerous. He's kicked 2 goals. What I'm worried about is when he's getting the one-on-one marking contest. Matty Scarlett being out, he wouldn't allow that. He'd make sure there's always help playing on Buddy Franklin.
So Selwood goes from the centre, kicks the ball to Podsiadly. Oh, he had a fair bit of it. It is a bit of a slippery ball. Pod's trying to get a handball away, can't. Good tackle from Birchall. Johnson was in there. Well played by Lewis, and also Guerra, I think it was. That was Bateman down low. Gee, big boot came in there from Lewis with Bartel. Back to Motlop. Motlop given a hip and shoulder as he kicks the ball to the pocket. Oh! Was that Tommy? Oh, the Hawk. Not the Hawks, the Hawk.
He got a beautiful wind up to this too. He had a clear run at the ball, clear jump at the ball. We know that he was an outstanding schoolboy high jumper, and that was all on display there.
Interesting the way he sets up here for this set shot. So he's had a long time to think about. Is he going to go check side? He is, and he's missed and scored it behind. Tom, they were patient with him. I mean, every person in Australia had an opinion on Tom Hawkins, but he did turn everything around last September, didn't he?
This sounds really different, I guess. He's a really conscientious kid, and I guess when you're playing with big personalities like Cam Mooney, Steve Johnson, Paul Chapman, almost feels a bit claustrophobic. But now the forward line's his, and it's his time to shine.
He's back, free kick, Hawthorn.
Right cross to get the free kick. One of the square, the defensive side of centre, goes across the ground, and now 50. James Kelly over the mark.
He's 2 metres in front of the mark. No.
As I said earlier, umpire McBurney, 4 grand finals, umpteen finals.
There's Buddy streaming into the forward line.
Yep.
He's got the ball 55 metres out. Depending on the breeze, not beyond him.
Good defensive structure there from Geelong. You see Jimmy Bartel in the back pocket, just covering that easy one, which the Hawks got the other end. He's probably going to have to go the distance.
Generally, he gets it to go left to right, but with this prevailing breeze, it might go... Oh, hang on a sec. He's gone short anyway. Doesn't matter. Just as well. I'm starting to get theoretical. It comes back towards the half-back line. Sliding in there was Christensen. On the assist, Podsiadly. Well played by Duncan and Christensen. They managed to keep it in between them. Kick goes beyond the wing. Waiting for it, Gibson lays it off to Burgoyne. High ball. The breeze grabs it, takes it close to the line. Mitchell just keeps it in. Cruising past is Bruce. Ignores that. Goes short. Bounces past Rioli. Lurking behind him is Mackey to a one-out contest. The tall man is Stratton. Stratton leads back in the race. The short man, though, should be advantaged here. In his hip pocket is Motlop. Motlop gets around him, keeps it in. The cavalry is coming. It's Johnson. Hand passes about 10 metres. McCauley wondering what he's doing in this company. Throws it on the boot. It bounces beyond the wing. Comes back towards Smith. He's tackled. Picked up by Hunt. He's gang tackled. Put down by Smith. They meet at the football. Lewis and Selwood. Close to the boundary line. It's still in. Can you believe it? Kick from Corey goes very close to himself. Socket off the ground by Selwood. Put it out.
Have a spell.
And it's deliberate.
Oh, deliberate.
The umpire wanted the ball to stay in, Dennis. That was pretty clear.
Oh, the resuscitator, Bruce, please.
Oh, you were better than Bone Crusher at the end of that Cox plate, Dennis. So let's have a look.
Not much doubt about that.
Good call. Well done, Den.
Blood rule's been activated again. The other thing that's been evident in this first quarter is the fact that both sides are playing pretty much one-on-one footy. There's none of that +1 behind the ball, as we see Joel Selwood coming off for more attention to that cut on his forehead. It also means that the play in this first quarter has pretty much been up and down the line, Tom, because those players, those outrider-type players on the fat side, have been covered by both sides.
You happy there?
So Selwood for the second time. I think Dennis has gone off for the blood rule for a moment as well, but he'll be okay. Chapman from centre wing. To half forward. Corey caught in the front spot. Hale through his fingers. Saul to Mitchell. To Burgoyne. And then he kicks back to centre wing. Well done by Guthrie. It's a hard ball to hold at the moment. Gee, Lewis was strong there. To Bateman. Bateman to the 50-50. Lonigan and Franklin. Franklin keeps his feet. Running onto it now. Buddy in the pocket. Impossible. It was.
Just to go back, you see Paul Chapman with the blood on his jumper. There might be a few people at home thinking, well, why hasn't he come off with the blood rule? The laws have been relaxed since the Ling and Buckley days back a couple of years ago. And unless it's exposed blood, you're right to go.
Smets kicks outside the defensive 50 then. Lurking at the back, Weira. Slips a hand pass away, but straight to Duncan. Duncan wobbles one up towards the wing. Stratton left it behind. Lewis so good just moments ago. Now this will be interesting. Deliberate.
Straight out. Tom Hawkins.
Needed to get a bit of angle on that. Hawkins drives it inside the forward 50. Geelong well represented down there. Podsiadly.
That's a big body, isn't it, when he covers the ball like that? The ball was dropping in that breeze as well, so he had the ball drop really well and truly covered. There's nothing Gibson could do about that. He's one of the best spoilers in the game, but he couldn't get a mid on that.
So Podsiadly will kick from about 35. Crossing breeze across him right to left, we think, but it is fluky. The goal, and the Cats are back in front. Fair to say these two sides pretty sick of each other. These sort of games have been just par for the course. Podsiadly. That's a beautiful kick. That is a strong leg. He puts it straight through the middle.
On 7 News, anti-jumps protesters keep up the pressure at Oakbank. A drink driver sparks a massive inferno on a busy Californian freeway. And Australia tops the medal tally at the World Track Cycling Championships. See you at 6.
Well, get ready, Australia tomorrow. Zac Efron live in the studio.
Then a Wednesday, One Direction also live here at Bricky Central.
Sunrise, the home of the stars.
4 points in it. Some of the big guns getting the goals. Hawkins, Podsiadly and Johnson, and Franklin and Roughhead for the Hawks. So no surprises there. Corey out of the centre. And then well done by Selwood, running so hard. Gee, Selwood and Mitchell, there's a good battle, and that ball still hasn't come out. Selwood riding Mitchell there. Ball still to be won. Flicked out. Mitchell down low, so strong. Lewis in Harwood, Chapman, Burgoyne. Well done by Duncan, played by Kelly. Gets the ball back inside 50. Podsiadly and Hawkins, and then Bartel just went without it. Has a second crack, Bartel to Hawkins. Good smother from Stratton. Tommy Hawkins, not 15. Saul hacks it out. Well done by Kelly. Belts it back inside the 50. Ball dropped away. West has it smothered by Saul. Still in dispute. Taken by White. Cross, little gift to Saul, and the Hawks relieve it.
Saul drives it high towards the wing. Dropping back is Mackey. Plays on immediately. Taylor. Wrong foot's Rioli. Towards half forward and Bartel. Bartel and Stratton. Stratton reaches over the top. Well done by Mitchell. Knocked it onto Suckling. Suckling, interesting kick just beyond the wing. It's 2-on-1. It's actually 3-on-1. Well done by Taylor to Chapman. And now Hunt. Good pressure came from Savage, affected the kick. Back goes Burgoyne and takes it across the boundary line.
Again, there's so much pressure on out there at the moment. Neither side can actually switch the play. Just see this great bit of play there by Selwood just to dive in on the ball. Contested possession's pretty even in this first quarter, as you'd expect.
Two of the great in-close players, aren't they?
Well, the last two contests have been outstanding. Both have slidden. Never going to take a backward step. And it's not an uncommon sight to see Joel Selwood with a bandage around his head.
So Birchall gets it from Lewis, and then Birchall off a step. Hale, a target, goes very early. And it was Mackie at the back who's got the job on Hale and building the ball over the line. Hale, he did well in the second half of the season, particularly last year, ex-North Melbourne. He's actually kicked 8 goals against the Cats in a match when he was a Kangaroo. Schmetz, well done Roughhead. Mitchell really working into the game, and that's a well-played front spot by Smith.
Mark's there, Corey.
Gee, that was a good mark.
Come back on, play on.
He's such a running, productive player. Now, where's Buddy? He's in that pack. Hale made the contest and did well. Guthrie looked in the back for Hale, not paid. And then on the up was Christensen to Smets. Smets kick out wide. Now Gibson running hard with Suckling. Motlop there, back to Suckling. Now the Cats have got a chance. Podsiadly to Motlop on the burst. Motlop 55 out. Kicks the ball to the top of the square. Where will it bounce? Guerra sits it up.
Takes his time, sends it back to the outer side, and Suckling. Wrong man went after the footy moments ago. Suckling was concerned about going back on his left side, and they turned it over. Here's Lewis. He's played very well in this term. Not so much possessions, just impact. He's been an impact player. White cross inside the forward 50. Buddy gets it free.
Yep. That's significant because that's the first time the game's really opened up where Hawthorn have been able to get a kicking chain in operation today.
We're down to 3 seconds. Now none. Not many players would be as used
You know the situation? Must kick in a straight line.
to the big stage.
Can't run around.
He does have a natural arc, though. We have been explained by the umpires he's allowed to go on his natural arc, so I hope they don't ping him if he does swing round to the left.
Well, it is. It's the buddy arc. I mean, Jeff Gushin has explained there is a thing called the buddy arc.
Yeah, but he knows he's got a buddy arc, so he might abuse the privilege.
Well, he better not buddy
You
go
can't
off
give
the
him
line,
carte blanche on the buddy arch. In he comes.
I reckon the umpire's got in his head then.
I think he did too.
Yep.
Kicked behind. So how about that for a turn? Loved it. Slippery day at the MCG. And the Cats 4-1-25 lead the Hawks 3-4-22. This is Monday Football. Those Eskimo Joes fit right in. It's pretty cool here at the MCG. Quarter time, Geelong 4-1-25, Hawthorn 3-4-22. And certainly Montagna, it's lived up to its billing so far this game. It's been tough and it's been uncompromising.
Yeah, it certainly has, Dennis, as we expected. Both teams are playing one-on-one style footy. It's very contested, but it's also giving the key forwards an opportunity to get the footy. But it's certainly a finals-like type of game. A lot of pressure, a lot of contested ball, and I think the sides that will continue to win those 50-50 contests will give their forwards a chance.
And both sides have key forwards who are looking pretty damn dangerous, aren't they?
Yeah, you're exactly right. I think Buddy's had 4 shots on goal in the first quarter, and Tom Hawkins and Podsiadly have also had shots. But as I said earlier, I think that's going to come from the midfield. If the midfielders of either side get on top, give their forwards an opportunity, it'll go a long way to win this game. And Joel Selwood pictured there is one of the tough nuts that will thrive in these conditions, and Sam Mitchell as well for Hawthorn's the other guy that's had a lot of the footy early.
Now, I think Cameron Ling's emotionally involved in this game, but we'll check him out anyway. Cam, what have you noticed?
Absolutely loving the contest, Dennis. Joey Montagna's spot on there. It is a brutal contest out here, as expected, between Geelong and Hawthorn. It always is. Love the fact that Brad Sewell and Joel Corey are going head-to-head. Joey's already touched on Sam Mitchell and Joel Selwood. Some really good quality contested footy everywhere across the ground. This quarter will be a beauty as well.
Easter Monday afternoon, then the Cats lead it by 3 at quarter time. Here's Bruce.
Thanks, Dennis. One of the stars that's had not much of an impact so far, Cyril Rioli in that opening term.
Yeah, Corey Enright's doing the job on Cyril Rioli at the moment. He's done that for the majority or total extent of Cyril Rioli's career. He's a very gifted player, and then he's got that terrific balance between attack and defence. So Cyril will need to work over Corey Enright. We've got him on screen just there, and get himself up into the midfield and then burn on the way towards the goal. That's his best avenue to attack.
Couldn't be evener when you look at the actual inside 50s, 14 apiece, tackles 20 to 22, contested possessions 43 apiece. So Al Clark, both coaches would be happy with the players' commitment of the first quarter.
Start of the second term, Easter Monday at the MCG. Cats by 3 points over the arch rival in Hawthorn. Bartel down low, Rioli in quickly. And that ball is through the legs of Bartel. Umpire had a pretty good view. So the sun shines. It's been a strange day in Melbourne. Temperatures around 13, 14 degrees. Had one big hailstorm and a fair bit of rain in that opening quarter. Look away handball came from Christensen, and then Selwood just barged his way through and did well in the end. Christensen backs up. Corey, that's just strength through the hips, wasn't able to hold the tackle, get the ball inside 50. Then Kelly, Smith, did well, Smith there, and then poked it towards the line. Mitchell, 11 disposals in the opening 10. All White cross, Enright hard. That ball's out of play, boundary throw in. On Enright, only Ablett, Judd and Enright have been All-Australian in the last 4 years, so Corey Enright's in the same class as Chris Judd and Gary Ablett when it comes to All-Australians over the last 4 seasons. That is a good club to be part of.
Macaulay did well, tapped it down, taken by Smith, who drives it towards half forward. It's 2-on-1. The one leads, but it's a fickle bounce. It comes back to one of the two. Franklin did brilliantly into the path of Hale to Rioli. Rioli snaps, hits the post.
Geez, when you saw it was Lonergan who went down and Franklin kept his feet. It's an extremely dangerous situation to be in. Kept the ball alive. Would have been nice for Cyril to get an early one to start the confidence going in the second quarter.
He just 7 goals in 9 games against the Cats, Rioli, so he hasn't had a big match-winning game against them, and he has started quietly.
He did in the 2008 grand final. He was unbelievable.
He kicked a couple that day. That's his PB actually against Geelong. That's the most he's ever kicked in one match, 2 goals against them. How do you know, Tom? You were down in the rooms. Here's Birchall, kicks the ball to about 50. And then Guthrie, good tackle. Mitchell, wonderful. Now Lewis is a good kick. And he goes bang. And the Hawks are back in front.
Introducing the all-new Prius C. It has all the benefits of efficient city driving and fits perfectly with your life. It's your Prius C.
How do I stay young? Diet? Knife? Come on. You could do what I do. Keep my skin looking good.
L'Oreal creates Vitalift 5. 1 step, 5 anti-aging actions. New Vitalift 5 from L'Oreal Men. Expert.
Well, you leave Sam Mitchell free at your peril. I mean, he can damage you as much by hand as he can by feet. He's the closest thing I've seen to Greg Williams out there playing AFL football. He's already up to 13. You just wonder what's going through Scotty's mind in the coach's box now about shutting him down a bit.
Selwood ran into a dead end. Hand passes high in the air. Knocked forward by Kelly. Birchall tried to stop it. In goes Corey. Macaulay goes after the football. Chapman is dragged down by Roughhead. Over the top comes Mitchell. Holding the ball.
Good start by the Hawks. Intensity certainly at the contest.
Roughhead doing some rucking. Kicks it to his opposite number, West. Geelong going with just the one big man. Stephenson left out of their side at the last minute. Kicked out towards half forward. Up in front, Podsiadly runs free at the back. Down goes Motlop. And the gang tackling now of Hawthorn is becoming a feature.
Okay, Tim, what do you do with Mitchell if you're coaching?
I reckon you go to Kelly and say, look, play a more defensive game. For the next 5 minutes, for the next 10 minutes, just close him down. Let's shut him down as much as we can.
Selwood starting to get some disposals to Taylor, and then Hawkins just held his ground so well there, Hawkins.
Would have been going into the game extremely confident. Tom Hawkins had a great game in the last time these two clubs met in the final, and it was shy making his direct point. That's probably a push in the back there, Bruce.
It is, yeah.
By definition, it's definitely a push in the back there.
Didn't see that on the first grab, but lucky to get away with one there.
Yeah, he had the big grand final, but he actually had a really good final series, didn't he? He started with the Hawks on that Friday night and kicks his 2nd goal today.
Amy's Safe Driver Rewards took me here. I can now indulge in a few more pleasures.
I think I know you.
But with 15% off my insurance, I can afford to.
You Rhonda.
Tiramakasi.
No. You stay. Beautiful driver, beautiful break food.
Amy's Safe Driver Rewards offer up to 15% discount for drivers who don't claim. Where will the savings take you?
Rhonda is mine.
There's Tom Hawkins on screen there. The thing that's impressed me as much today as his ability to win the balls, his ability to contest. And a couple of times there have been high balls, he's been disadvantaged, but he's worked his backside off to make sure that the ball actually goes to the front of those ground level players.
Selwood just darting in after that loose ball, getting the free, takes something off the kick. Well, too much as it turned out, fell in front of Stokes. Podsiadly picks it up, kicks it down towards the pocket. Gibson very guarded about how that would bounce. Hangs off the ball and lets it go out.
Selwood getting a tackle, getting a free kick for that tackle. He actually talked about this.
Very candid interview,
this
wasn't it?
morning in that interview, Tom. So he's not apologising for developing a technique to draw a free kick.
And quite a few players are doing the same thing. Here's Johnson. Snaps across his right shoulder, floats down towards the pocket. Gibson played it brilliantly. Off balance, got it out of bounds.
In that same article, Tim, he did mention he wouldn't be able to pull off the same stunt against your son, Joe. Too strong for him, he reckons.
Next time, David. Just jump with the footy, don't hold or grab.
He had 5 free kicks in his favour last weekend, Joel Selwood, more than anyone else in the first round. Savage's kick, well, he knew as soon as he kicked it that it wasn't going where he wanted.
That kick just can't be blind in a back line.
So the press right on here from Geelong. Taylor kicks back to about 15 metres. Hawthorn, well, they had all the numbers. They get away with it, or that they may not. That's a terrible handball by Hale. It was behind Gibson. Gibson out to Guerra. They're just hoping here, and they had a bit of luck. Now Smith has to hold it up.
We saw the spoil there from Josh Gibson. Needs to have awareness to know that it was Showmakers, I think, who could have taken the mark, should have blocked for him.
And right in the back.
Free kick, Hawthorn.
So the Hawks have been able to get it to half-back and out of the danger zone now.
And this is where Geelong have been really good at manning up, just so that they're not allowing that bloke to be free.
So Bateman down the line.
West over the top.
Hawthorn like to sorry, Dennis. Hawthorn like to kick their way through from half-back, but Geelong have been really disciplined about making sure that they go one-on-one all over the ground.
Had to handball.
Margin 2 points. Early going second term. 5-1-4-5. One down by Hale, taken by Sewell. High up and under. Awkward one to mark is proven there by Duncan. He missed it on one knee as McCauley goes looking for Rioli. Scampering after the football as Guthrie spins out of trouble. Brilliantly done. Gave it to Mackey. Kicks between the lines. They're coming from both directions. Schoenmakers backed himself and did brilliantly. The 21-year-old drives it down towards right half forward. Osborne is there. Slips a hand pass away to Bateman. Bateman hard against the boundary line, pulls it back. Lonergan in best position. He's a little nervous, and why not? Buddy Franklin there with him, able to punch it away. Crumbing the ball is Mackey. Goes to the outer side, Selwood. Selwood goes short to Chapman. Selwood keeps on coming. Through midfield, Joel Selwood. Kicks into the oncoming player, Whitecross. In fact, it was Mitchell. Mitchell goes back after the football on his knees. Slips a hand pass away to Gibson. Gibson into the path of Lewis. Outmanoeuvred by Corey. Came to Bartel. Wanting his left foot there was Taylor. Ran himself into trouble. Corey comes back to Bartel. Bartel inside the forward 50. Missed by Guerra. Lurking at the back and held without it almost Podsiadly. They scramble after it. Johnson was on the lead. He was the man that didn't get the free. Watch this again.
Oh, he knew he was going to take that hit too, Selwood. He's tough.
He's had 6 disposals in this quarter, Selwood. He has really lifted. Mitchell was the big getter in the first quarter. Burns and Chapman. And then Chapman just held up in the tackle. Gee, Ruffy was good there and then looked a bit high on him.
Got him high, free kick, Hawthorn.
Love the way Ruffy's moving today.
Yeah. He's up and about, no doubt. Second efforts around the contest have been good.
Burgoyne, real link man, Burgoyne, isn't he? Now Saul on centre wing. Now, can he get the penetration? Uses the run. Savage, who hasn't disposed of it all that well so far today. Now Osborne, cut off by Mackey, well read. And this could hurt to Burns on the burst. Burns normally a lovely kick out wide. Haven't called Stokes that often. 60 metres from home.
Just going long here.
And then Stokes chips it. Duncan, well, that was an ordinary old kick in the end, and a boundary thrown in. Hawthorn let off the leash a bit here.
There's a smother there from Andrew Mackey. It's predominantly one-on-one, but Jimmy Bartel was a player who set himself free and got behind the ball and created that indecision there for Osborne going forward for the Hawks.
Boundary throw in then. Forward of the pack, it's taken by Burns. Quick hands away, Chapman. Bartell. They come from all directions. Bateman did well, got it on the ground for Hawthorn. Hawkins trying to find a way through, left the ball behind. Roughhead goes back to Lewis, was taken high as he kicked. It wanders out towards the outer side. And it's going to be a free kick to Harry Taylor.
Zero out. Just here, David. 2 actions.
I think it was Albus Dumbledore who said, trust Harry. He's about 70 metres from goal.
Didn't go the distance, Dumbledore, did he?
No. Floats it down towards full forward. Off hands. I don't know the answer, really. I just knowingly said no.
No, you're right.
Heads for the boundary and through it goes.
Sorry, but Harry did.
Yeah, Harry didn't go. That's right.
Just didn't quite get himself in the right position then, Roughhead. He didn't work hard enough to get back behind the play and almost became the stepladder for Podsiadly in the goal square.
Geelong are really doing well here, Tim, aren't they? They're finding it so hard, Hawthorn, to get this clear kick away.
They press right up now.
They're working really well in transition too, Geelong.
So Hawthorn here, this is typical of what the Cats have been able to do to them. The best kicking team in the comp are having real trouble making decisions about where they'll go. Lewis, good switch up there to Gibson. Oh, cut off by Johnson. Chance for Burns. Burns to Hawkins. Hawkins handball. Back to Burns. Couldn't quite get the left foot on it. Had a real chance there. That ball coming out slowly. Back with Burns, and then Gibson wraps him up.
Josh scooped it under him, Josh. Came out and scooped it back under him.
Gee. Just indecision by the Hawks because the Cats are just positioning themselves so well.
That's domination. I think 70% in their forward half this quarter, Geelong.
Wide of the pack, Johnson over the football, taken down by the opposite number 20 there, Hale. Looking for a free kick was Stokes, and the umpire decides to ball it up. When they've looked bad or poor today, Hawthorn, they haven't looked very good at all.
I think the case is down as such an elite kicking side. They're down to the low 60s in their kicking efficiency, normally mid 70s, and if that's their goal and they're not executing the skills, they can look second rate.
Hale came out on his knees there. Untidy stuff, and the umpire will ball it up again about 25 metres out from Geelong's attacking goal. They're up by 3 points. Jono just delaying a bit there. Waiting for a few players to get closer to the pack, and now Chapman has given away a free kick, and it will go, I think, to Mitchell.
This is where they've been good, though, Geelong, picking up their men, making sure that there's no easy options for Hawthorn out. They'll take the quick, short one, but there's no one down the line. This is going to be a long kick down the line here.
Whitecross. That kick barely 15. Whitecross goes for distance then. High ball to the wing. McCauley. He was the last man in the queue, had it momentarily. Comes wide of the pack. Kelly did nicely. Chapman threads a hand pass. Christensen goes down towards half forward. Gathered on the half volley well by Podsiadly. He was stripped to the football.
Illegal disposal, James.
And the kick will go to Gibson.
I think Hawthorn have been trying to get it onto this wing for the last couple of minutes, but they just haven't been able to get it out this side. Now Whitecross, now they might be able to set up. Whitecross goes in. Now they've had Schoenmakers out here for a while on his own. Now this one, Burgoyne running for him. He was a bit slow to go back. And now Geelong able to stop them again. That's a good kick though. A space in the middle. Now Smith's a good runner. Chapman minds the spot. Lewis running on. McCauley the target. Mackie did the right thing. Mackie held him up. Back to Smith, and then Smith tries to unload, but that's a poor kick. Taylor, hands and knees, Enright, back to Lonigan. Lonigan over the top to Kelly, and then Kelly over the top to Corey. Corey normally good with the tackle through the strong hips to Chapman to Duncan.
Duncan just forward of the wing then. Geelong looking the sharper side at the moment. It bounces down towards half forward. Podsiadly running out of room, hooks it back. Camped underneath at Whitecross. Plays on immediately.
Now they're out.
Mitchell. Where will he go next? McCauley's in the middle. He does want to use him. He goes short to Savage. Savage back to Mitchell. Mitchell runs it up the ground. Now he can use McCauley and does. McCauley to Birchall. Birchall, normally a good kick. He sends it inside the forward 50, and Franklin will get a free kick. For not the first time.
So there's a real difference, isn't there? When they can get out and they can switch the play and they can open the ball up from half back by foot, that's when they look at their most menacing Hawthorn.
Jack on through, Jack.
I mean, that's a free kick every day of the week. I mean, you can't take a bloke's arms out in a contest.
Scotty not that happy about it. Shake of the head.
I mean, Tom will go into bat for Lonergan, I know, because of the defender's oath, but you just can't do that.
The rules
anymore.
are there. It's the same with the hand in the back, the slap of the arms. They're the rules.
Franklin going a number 3 for Hawthorn to lead again. But this kick, I think, is offline. It is. They creep closer. The margin back to 2 points now.
It is the way to play Lance Franklin, though. You play him just on his shoulder. He gets his arms out. Every now and again, you're going to lose that one with the chop of the arms. But if you play him out in front, he'll just turn you around all day. So you just have to continually work on the shoulder, and that's what Tom Lonergan will do all day. And occasionally you'll get stiffed.
They're going to be hard to kick those long goals, even for Franklin with the win today. And Tim, it was Mitchell that was the architect in the back half there for Hawthorn with that movement.
You just need the ball in the hands of a really good operator like Mitchell, and if he can get ball across there, he can be just as damaging as he can be on any other part of the ground.
Well, Geelong want the Hawks to play down the line. If the Hawks can just get it off the line slightly and play the wings, and as you say, get the ball in the really good ball users, that's their best avenue to goal.
Well, you knew he was going to hand it off, and then Lewis just pokes it up to centre half forward. Ball in dispute. Saul rides the first tackle. Is he in strife? Ball still comes out. Mitchell, goal. Brilliant. Oh, Greg Williams would have loved that one.
Honey, the game's about to start, so I'll just...
Immerse yourself in the action this season with a home theatre system from Harvey Norman. With a huge range from all the big brands, you'll be closer to the action than ever before.
Dad?
Harvey Norman, leader in the big game experience.
Sam Mitchell now up to 18 disposals. Joel Selwood was starting to do a job there and got a bit of the ball himself. Joel calling for the touch there, but he's such an instrumental player. And when Geelong really got the run on, it was nullifying Mitchell. Might need to look at doing that again.
Kelly did well. Broke free of a would-be tackle. Smets past the centre circles. Penetrating kick. Will it go to the back of the pack? No. Podsy Adley stopped it dead. That was a terrific mark. It was coming in flat and hard. And Podsy Adley will shoot at goal from 25 metres out. Working at the back of the pack was Steve Johnson.
James, that's your angle mark.
Wasn't required. Podsy Adley has one. So the Cats now can regain the lead. Difficult conditions, just a good game of footy this. Two quality sides. And they are content in the knowledge the footy nation is watching them. Podsy Adley comes in, gets his second goal. Cats lead.
One day you wake up, you're 45 and a bit. So what do? Do you become spiritual? Do you go on a diet? Use the knife? Rediscover your youth? Come on. Well, you can do what I do, which is just keep on being myself and keep my skin looking good.
L'Oreal creates Vitalift 5. One step, 5 anti-aging actions. Skin is stronger, firmer, full of vitality. New Vitalift 5 from L'Oreal Men. Expert.
Be yourself and never let go.
So with the last 6 goals, the lead has changed hand in this match.
And Showmaker's on to Podsy Adley now. Tom Hawkins had the better of that duel. And I'd be isolating Showmakers if I was the Geelong forward.
Yeah, well, Geelong have got the edge there. Pods has got a couple. Hawkins has got a couple. And Johnson, of course, got the first 2. Saul out of the centre. Mackey's kick cut off a bit by Bruce. And then Kelly had to get down low. Saul and Kelly. That's a good battle of strength, those 2 guys. Ball flicked out the back. And then Bruce's hands were good. Lewis, well done in the end to Franklin. Franklin getting some space inside to Osborne. It was a sloppy handball. And then White cross. And that's not a good finish. It's a free kick, though. Against Franklin.
Lance, I need the mark advance 5, please. Thank you.
The way the Hawks did bring that out of the stoppage is exactly what they need to do. Get some movement outside and spread it away, that time by hand or by foot. Either way, get it out of the traffic lines.
So Enright just looking for distance. Jim Motlop was good there. He actually got rid of Roughhead, didn't he? Which meant that West could take the mark. Slippery ball. Rioli. Oh, Mitchell. He's getting close to 20 disposals. Rioli inside 50.
Defensive mark is taken by Lonergan. Just to feel the footy. They'll make him feel good as he drives it back towards the wing then. Bartel nudged under it. Well done by Guerra. Runs free at the back. That was clever by Stokes. Advances at about 20. They've got the numbers surging here. Well played again by Podsiadly to work it forward. Oh, terrific by Gibson. Then Guerra. Motlop ran into a dead end. Guerra once more into the fray. And the ball is out of bounds. Now, who's that?
Well, Gibson copped one in the face. This was the kick off the ground. He went to ground. Podsiadly kicked the ball. Bang. It's actually just clipped him, I think, across the chin.
That was brave.
It was brave. And yeah, he's got a bit of claret just coming out of that iron.
So boundary throw in about 60 metres out from Geelong's attacking goal. They lead by 2 points.
He's just a handball. Just put somebody into space again. I mean, this is why he's so deadly with his hands, Mitch.
And the movement too, the lateral movement there, right to left, not what anyone expected.
Thanks, Trent.
He doesn't look, and apologies to Sam, as the most nimble man in the world, but there's the bounce. One down by West. Motlop stood his ground. Down goes Guthrie, emerging with it and doing well was Sewell. Lewis had the hand pass stifled, went to Hawkins, breaking free there is Smets, down towards full forward. How will it bounce? It's running towards goal, and Smets has got it from long range. Billy Smets.
Introducing the all-new Prius C. It has all the benefits of efficient city driving and fits perfectly with your life. It's your Prius C.
Ashley & Martin is Australia's most trusted medical centre for hair loss. We're at the forefront of hair loss technology and can do what most can't. Guarantee results. Call today and enjoy the confidence tomorrow.
Well, Smets here just watching this great bit of play. Wearing the number 2 jumper. He's probably the most famous Geelong number 2 wearer I've seen in a long time.
No doubt about that. Definitely the most suit.
Tom's old number 8. Here's Mitchell again. What a first half he's playing. But Hawthorn are a couple of kicks behind. Franklin almost. Lonigan wearing him tight. Osborne's been busy enough. Back to Mitchell. And then Mitchell hooks the ball back. And Macaulay seems to get to the right places, I reckon, this guy. Kicks the ball to full forward. That's a great kick. Well played, Brock Macaulay, straight down Lewis's throat.
Mitchell involved in another scoring chain as well. Look, you've got to do something about him now. The bloke's up to 21, and we're not even at half-time yet. 9 of those have contested, 4 clearances. He's done it all, Sam Mitchell, in this first half, and I think now is the real test for Geelong. Who can they actually just put the clamps on Sam Mitchell with?
So Lewis has kicked a goal in this quarter, gets his second, and Hawthorn closed the gap again.
Sunday, 6:30. It begins.
It's called dancing, but I don't have to dance.
Well, no, you don't have to dance.
Well, I might want to. But I can dance.
You don't have a partner, you can't. No, I'm just the host.
An amazing new cast hits the floor.
It's going to be scary.
7's Dancing with the Stars starts Sunday, 6:30.
Tim spoke about how good Sam Mitchell's been in this first half and how they need to send someone to him. I love this. Geelong, Chris Scott has sent Cam Guthrie to Sam Mitchell. Even if he can't limit him too much, it'll be a great learning experience for Cam Guthrie.
Lucky fellow. Macaulay goes after it, gives a hand pass to Burgoyne. Sewell upended. Arriving quickly was Kelly. Johnson feeds the ball out wide. West. Well, not the target he really needed. Coming away is Savage. Savage kicks Hawthorn down towards half forward. Some one out jousting down there. Plenty of Geelong players around the pack, but Osborne got the crumb. Slips it away to Bateman. Bateman hooks. Well done in front by Lonigan. Backed himself against the football. Geelong's last goal kicker, Smets, tied up there. It comes across to Lonigan. Lonigan sends it wide towards the boundary and finds it. Well done by Lonigan a couple of times there in what was a defence under pressure. So boundary throw in left half forward. 2 points the difference. Over 4 minutes, just over 4 minutes till half time. Sewell's ball marked by Taylor, who spots Mackie on the move.
Look at the Geelong defence has done well in this term with Franklin and also Hale. Hale struggled today. Kelly.
Oh,
Smets gone. Good tackle by Burgoyne.
It's just experience. Just tried to shimmy its way out of that. Just give it first time for Billy.
So Burgoyne now gives Franklin a one-on-one. It wasn't a great kick, actually, and out of play. Just thinking about the matchup for Mitchell, do you think here's a strong tackle?
He showed a bit too much of the ball.
You learn pretty quick at this level.
Hale tries to drop it down. Christensen is going to use Johnson. So Stevie J in the back half. Haven't seen a lot of him since his great burst early in this match. One bounce and undecided. And then chips the ball to Smets, but it was a slow kick. Well done by Guerra to Whitecross. Whitecross on the left, almost to Franklin, and gets another one. It's a free kick to Buddy. How many's he had today? Play on. Is it a goal? It is. Lewis has got 3, and Hawthorn's in front.
Play the high tackle, advantage. No. I didn't blow time. It's a goal.
This is the contentious area with the play on advantage rule. As players, you have to play as if there is no whistle. Jordan Lewis really smart here. This is a great turnover from the kick from Steve Johnson.
It's Guerra cutting it off here.
Guerra it was who was intercepting the ball. But just watch the free kicks here for, I think, an over-the-shoulder there. And it's just Lewis has awareness just of mind to pick up and go along with the goal. That's totally within the rules. Really good play from the Hawthorn player.
So Jordan Lewis, the first time he's booted 3 at the MCG, 13 possessions. And that's the problem. Their midfield has got plenty of players who can find the footy, and the hard footy at that. Here's Burgoyne, slips a hand pass away, falling to the ground. Hale. The run of Savage has been important in the last 5 minutes. He goes inside the forward 50. Back goes Hunt, spills the mark. Franklin in his hip pocket, and the ball goes out of bounds. So Hawthorn making their move now. Hawks lead it by 4. Not easy, that one, coming over his right shoulder on a swirling breeze, and probably the footy a bit slippery, although hard to know what the weather is doing. Whitecross finds a way through, and I think he snapped it. What a terrific goal, Whitecross. Tightest of angles.
Amy's Safe Driver Rewards took me here. I can now indulge in a few more pleasures.
I think I know you.
But with 15% off my insurance, I can afford to.
You Rhonda.
Terra McCarthy.
No. You stay. Beautiful driver. Beautiful break food.
Amy's Safe Driver Awards offer up to 15% discount for drivers who don't claim. Where will the savings take you?
Rhonda is mine.
Well, this is the goal from the stoppage, unable to clear it really effectively. And the last 3 goals that Hawthorn have kicked, Whitecross, Lewis and Mitchell, all coming from their midfielders. So that's a real concern for Geelong going into half-time.
And they've kicked them in a hurry, Tim, and they've got back the lead here, and they've pinched a little break. So
Mine. Gave it a chance.
What the Hawks have been able to do really well since the start of this quarter is actually get the ball away from this contest here. To be a handball to create some movement.
Selwood was effective early, wasn't he? Well done, Corey. Sort of flicked it out there, and then Burns. Johnson protected the footy, couldn't quite take the mark. Suckling, that's a clever kick, actually. Savage has been good. Dennis mentioned his run, and that's clever by Savage. Well played to Osborne, and then Osborne to Lewis, who's been a star with those 3 goals in this quarter. Lewis off a step, running hard. Good mark taken by Bruce. Franklin belting back towards the goal. Geelong have got a hold here because Hawthorn on the burst here. A couple of minutes to go to half-time. He's got Birchall inside. What's he going to do? He's going to go for goal, I think, Bruce. No, puts it up to the front of the square. Geelong with the numbers, and that wasn't really well thought through. Taylor out wide to West. Interesting ball, this one.
West will get a free kick against Schoenmakers. So they're being put to the test at the moment, Geelong. West down towards half-forward. Working in front is Duncan, almost the mark. It falls behind. Brilliant pick-up. Rough head through midfield. No sign of that Achilles problem right there. Got down low and took it in one grab. Schoenmakers got it from Hale. Kicks down towards half-forward. Grabbed was Lonigan. It's 2-on-1. Now it's reversed. They've got the numbers around the footy, Geelong, here, and I think they'll get a free kick to Burns for a push in the back. Initially, it was 2-on-1 Hawthorn's way.
Corey!
But then
Shannon Burns free kick.
some Geelong players really flooded to the contest. Burns, who started on the bench, is at right half-back.
Usually a good kick, and he finds Chapman in the centre. So Chappie on the burst, on the move. Oh, they've opened up here, out wide to Hunt and Kelly. Hunt will use Kelly, you think? No, he goes short to Selwood. Kelly still running. Hawthorn able to hold it up a bit. Back to Taylor Hunt. Hunt was going to load up, then uncertain. Controls the leg. Johnson, well done by Stratton. Down low was Guerra. Lovely tackle, Guthrie. And then a bit unlucky, I reckon. Bruce was over the top of him and the ball up.
It was a strange kick then from Hunt, because there was a 3-on-3 deep in Geelong's forward line. I reckon in those circumstances, Tom, you'd be better off going with a long, high kick. They've been good at actually working the ball from the hands of Geelong forwards.
So the Cats pressing here just before half-time. Taylor.
So you wheel and go now, Tim. Just get it right in deep. That's when they've... Here we go, another go at it.
So Taylor Hunt's long ball. They've been dangerous here, Geelong, throughout the day. Getting in close was Burns. And it's half-time. They're behind to the Cats. So at the long break, it's just what we expected, wasn't it? A really competitive first half. Mitchell's been the outstanding player on the field so far. But 9-point game. Mitchell 21 disposals. Roughheads made a good start. Bartel busy. But Hawthorn, who trailed for a lot of that first half, have got the edge. But so much to play for. Half-time here. Easter Monday. It's 7 goals, 3 to 8-6. Down to Cameron Lingers with Chris Scott.
Early on in that second quarter, a lot of the game has been played in Geelong's forward half. That's going to be the key to winning this game, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. We were not bad around the ball, but I thought they got on top in that last 10 minutes. Were able to use the ball and take it forward with a bit more fluency. It did live up in our forward half for a fair bit, but we just didn't look like scoring as easily as they did.
Contested ball, of course it was going to be important against a team like Hawthorn. Most crucial thing for this second half, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's the team that sort of gets in and wins their share of the ball. Around the middle of the ground, we've changed a few things up that we think will help us there. But, yeah, if you can win the ball, it goes a long way, Lingy.
It certainly does. Sam Mitchell was very good in that first half of the game. Sent Cam Guthrie to him late in the quarter. Were you expecting to see him playing on Sam in the second half?
No, we won't. We need Cam in our defence. He's looked good back there. We thought it was good experience for him for 5 or 6 minutes. We know he can do that. But, yeah, Mitchell's got away from us. We've got to change something there and make sure we limit him, not so much around the stoppage. It's more in transition where he's getting the ball.
Thanks for your time, Scotty. All the best for the second half.
So the captain and the coach from last year's premiership team together there. So something different for Mitchell. Rioli's still yet to have an impact really in this match, isn't he?
He's been quiet. He's been really quiet, and we expected him to be able to pounce on some of those balls that have gone into Hawthorn's forward line, particularly because of the windy conditions and the pressure that's been applied. We know that he can play such a great game in a really enclosed area, but we haven't seen that. The other thing that Geelong have actually been really good at today, though, is limiting the effect of Suckling and Guerra and also Birchall and their run and their carry from half back. It's amazing. Birchall at half-time, Tom's only had 4 disposals.
Yeah, the 28 last week, and 21 of those have kicks. Hawthorn have been forced to kick the ball down the line. When Birchall and Suckling and these sorts of players are at their very business, when they move the ball off the line and get to the fatter side of the ground and create that uncontested run. So that's the key for the Hawks. If they play down the tram tracks and in the contested situation, that will play into the Cats' hands.
I guess a real... Oh, sorry, Dennis.
No, go ahead, Tim.
I was just going to say the point that we talked about pre-game too, about the number of inexperienced players they've got out there today. Whether or not that'll be a factor, we've already seen that in other big games like Collingwood last week, that they really stopped to a walk late in that game because I believed it was just too long for some of their younger, inexperienced players to go the full distance. So whether that will have a bearing on this game or not remains to be seen. It'll be played out in the second half.
Well, there's Cam Guthrie down there in the bottom right. He won't go to Sam Mitchell if we're led to believe from Chris Scott. He'll go back down, back. Corey Enright doing a marvellous job on Cyril. And Grant Birchall, he's only had the 4 possessions. We spoke about that. He needs to get some of that uncontested ball and use the ball off the line for the Hawks to repel from half back. And we'll wait and see with Sam Mitchell. I'd love to see Jimmy Bartel go head-to-head with Sam Mitchell. He did a fantastic job in a grand final against Lenny Hayes. Similar type of player. You're not going to lose the offensive force of Bartel, but you'll probably get more of a defensive game as well.
Sam Mitchell leads all comers with 21 possessions, or rather possessions at the major break. It seems like 21 positions on the ground. He's been everywhere. Start of the second half then. Hawthorn by 9 points. Harry Taylor's 12 possessions, the best for Geelong. Through the legs of Mitchell, who tracks it back. Selwood reaches over the top. He's got the footy going nowhere.
Dennis, just looking at the Hawthorn forward structure at the moment, Lance Franklin, you'll just see him come up into screen pretty shortly. He's pushing up at half forward, isolating Roughhead and Hale deep in their forward 50.
Battle of strength, but West will be penalised. Macaulay gets the free. Two inexperienced players must be pinching themselves what the heck they're doing out there this afternoon. There's Birchall. They put it in his hands. Awkward half volley for Roughhead on his knees. Stolen away by Kelly. Keeping his cool end right, goes back to Joel Corey. He heads for the boundary line and/or Selwood. Selwood brushed aside. Well, Birchall responding. Gives it across to Savage. Around the corner it goes, but the mark is taken by the veteran Joel Corey, who finds Johnson.
In the back half, and no, did he run down by Franklin? He did well, Franklin, to affect the kick, and then Mitchell's handball to Guerra to Hale, and then Hale back to Smith. He's a natural left footer. Smothered by Guthrie, out wide. Whitecross has been important. On the left, hooks it back to a dangerous spot. Rioli juggling and juggling and juggling and marking.
That's a very good point, Bruce. Whitecross, 15 possessions now.
That's a great sign, though, too. Birchall running off half-back, and then Rioli featuring in this first passage of play inside their attacking 50.
It was a clever kick by Whitecross, wasn't it? I mean, he put it to a spot that at least he was going to get a contest. So Rioli, we've talked about the fact that he's been quiet. He's never kicked more than 2 in a match against Hawthorn. He hit the post earlier today. Roughhead playing deep forward at the start of this. Now this to give Hawthorn a pretty cosy lead, and he kicks it. So the Hawks are away here.
The VB Raise a Glass appeal is one of the single biggest public contributions to veterans' welfare in Australia. This year, VB once again will donate $1 million to the RSL and Legacy. I'll be raising a glass to the men and women in the Middle East. Who will you raise a glass to?
Just watch here. There's he does the splits there, Jared Roughhead. Now, he does a great effort there to get back on that ball and then just try and shovel it out. But we've just been watching him in the last couple of minutes. He looks like he might just be limping a little bit, so we'll keep an eye on that.
Macaulay taps it down. Selwood trying to lift his teammates at the moment. Dug out of there by Mitchell. Chance for Savage. Couldn't find a way through. Selwood fires a hand pass at Corey. Slings it out towards a teammate there in Christensen. Coming through as Motlop. Left it for Guthrie. Some indecision. Bartell. He found it on the deck. Gave it to Motlop. Across it comes to Enright. Enright loops the hand pass to Christensen. Given a while. Smets. Hand passes only as far as Burgoyne. And now Osborne's away. Birchall once more. Well, obviously, that point was made at halftime. They like it in Birchall's hands because he is such a good kick. And invariably goes on that left foot to the corridor. Here he is again. Grant Birchall just forward of the wing. Oh. Out of bounds on the full.
I think he might have just found touch, actually, Dennis. There's a bit of confrontation here.
Ah.
So, in the end, not a bad result, I guess, for Hawthorn. They've got an inside 50, but it was an uncharacteristic kick. Let's have a look. Ooh. The whole ball has to be over. Probably.
We don't go to umpire's review for this, do we?
No, but we're having a...
Hard to bring up the chalk today.
It was a right call. But Birchall, 3 disposals already. Rioli a goal. The 2 guys that Tom and Tim talked about after the break. They needed to lift, and they've started well here. Saul barging through. Mitchell still racking them up. That one smothered. Christensen. It's a real battle of wills a moment ago in the centre of the ground. No team really won. Now Geelong with a real chance. Chappie needs it to work for him. It does. Can he break Guerra? They're 2 bulls, those 2 guys, aren't they? Gee, Guerra did well.
That was a terrific tackle there by Brent Guerra. Paul Chapman shrugged the shoulders, dropped the knees.
It's Hunt now that has a job on Sammy Mitchell too, so he's running with Sammy Mitchell, not going to the stoppages with him, but just picking him up in general play.
So Savage from Guerra, and I reckon Chappie would be Savage at the moment. Oh, that's a good mark. So Hale, who's been quiet as well. We saw a bit of Hale about an hour before the match, but we haven't seen that much of him during the game.
Well, he also, we've mentioned Birchall a couple of times and Rioli. He was the other player that probably needed to lift in the forward line. It's one area where you can get Andrew Mackey in a one-on-one marking contest. And he's a massive man. positive signs for the Hawks.
What a big play, though, at half-forward. I mean, Chapman never gets beaten in those situations, does he? And yet that time Guerra got him.
Great strength then from Guerra, too, to be able to pull him down. I mean, you called it beautifully, Bruce. Two Bulls having a crack at it.
Well, a goal here, and Hawthorn would have kicked the last 5 and pinched a really big break in a fairly low-scoring match. Hales is going to take a good kick. That is a good kick. Never going to miss.
It only takes a moment, yet your Ashley and Martin treatment achieves some big results. It's a simple daily routine at home. It's easier than brushing your teeth. So call today and enjoy the confidence tomorrow.
How do I stay young? Diet? Knife? Come on. You could do what I do. Keep my skin looking good.
L'Oreal creates Vitalift 5. One step, 5 anti-aging actions. New Vitalift 5 from L'Oreal Men. Expert.
This is where you roll the dice with a defender like Mackie. Now, he's going to have too much mobility for one of the big, tall players like Hale. But if it is a contest in the air like we saw then, he's going to give away so much size and strength to a fellow like Hale.
Rucks go at it, hooked down behind by West, taken by Bartel. He was taken around the neck.
Jimmy Bartel!
With the free kick. They need him firing. Bartel swings it out wide. Enright pushing up from half back, goes down towards the pocket on the lead. Podsiadly, great defence there by Gibson, flings the ball out, found Stratton on the overlap. How about that? On a string, Rioli, long telling kick. One out is Franklin. Franklin battles back with Lonergan. Lonergan will get the kick. Well done, Tom Lonergan.
Advantage.
Advantage is taken. No.
We'll get a terrific defensive play. Just see some of the magic here from Rioli. He's got that on a string. But well done to Tom Lonergan. A great one-on-one win.
Smeds with the football on the outer side.
Yeah, I mean, Lonergan's win there was like Guerra's at the other end, wasn't it? Buddy was in such a great spot for him to run onto the goal. Schoenmakers worked out of it by Hawkins. Still feel Geelong are a chance here with Hawkins and Podsiadly forward today.
It's a critical 5 minutes, though, for the Cats.
Yep. There is Podsiadly, almost. Gibson into the back, no free kick. Suckling off a step to a contest. Now Mackie against the shorter opponent did well. That was Bruce. Christensen down low to Smets. Just in his second game, kicked the goal in that first half. Back to Mackie. Mackie's kick cut off by Saul. Yeah, the Cats, you're right, Tim. In fact, they're going to make some inroads now in the next 5 minutes. Hawthorn full of confidence here. They've kicked the last 5 goals. And then good kick in board. Now suddenly they're finding their targets too, the Hawks, aren't they?
And it's getting the ball just off the line, which they've done there to Suckling. Now they've got the whole ground open here. Whitecross is going to get on the end of it.
He's been dangerous. Got it from Gibson. Looks down towards half forward. He's having a run. Guthrie in pursuit. Birchall. There's that cut back and he sends it down towards full forward. Battle of bodies. Getting his hands to it. Franklin couldn't complete the mark. Sliding in was Enright. Picked up by Hale. Trying to bend it around. Smeds. Aided by a good bump there from Mackie. Short passes to the pocket. Bartel's got the football. Comes to Christensen. Christensen across the body. Hunt will need to go. Backed himself against the footy. Slid on his knees. Took the mark. Close to the boundary. It's Chapman. So Chapman on the outer side. Just lobs it over the top. Coming to the football is Johnson. But Hawthorn quite happy to contain them now. Short pass across the ground. Enright made it look okay. Hit the ball hard. Goes towards the boundary, and that should be 50. That should be 50.
50 metres. 19 for it. 19 for it.
That's a gimme. Two things about that passage of play, though. One was that Hunt got away from Sam Mitchell on the break. So that's the area where they can maybe just show up Sammy Mitchell. And the other part about that was they actually chanced their arm, brought that ball back inside again to Enright.
Hawkins gets his third goal. These are pretty talented athletes. They generally get that swinging arm into the same postcode as they require.
I'll say that's your problem right there. So if you didn't need the business loan so much, I might be, more inclined to give it to you.
This is actually more of a question for middle management or upper middle management. See, I'm in lower middle management.
I can certainly help you with a business loan, but I think what you're doing is really more of a hobby.
We can't just go giving money away willy-nilly.
But I'm not asking you to give me money away. I'm just...
Aren't you? Aren't you?
Well...
Fantastic contested grab there by Tom Hawkins. It's important that that ball stays in Geelong's forward line. Early on in this quarter, it's just been flying back out. Hawthorn looking dangerous from their back half. Another good grab by Tom Hawkins.
Yeah, Kelly getting it in too now. He could go all the way here, Hawkins.
Confidence for Sean Maker's a real worry at the moment. Tom Hawkins right on top in that one-on-one battle.
Now, depending on the wind, and we don't know how swirly and difficult it might be out there, but he's well within his range here, Tom Hawkins.
20 seconds gone.
Kicks from about 49 metres. Has it got the distance? Has it got the carry? Not quite. It held up. Suggests that he was kicking into the breeze, didn't it? So, good minutes here for Geelong, and that kick out all the way. Not touch. That's Burgoyne, was it?
Yep.
So the
outside, thank you.
Cats coming back here. Christensen to set it up. Hawkins and Podsiadly. Hawkins launches himself, boundary throw in.
He's really got his skates on, hasn't he? Christensen this quarter, he's up to 15 touches, which is more than any other Geelong player. So many times when Geelong have been in this situation, it's been Bartel and Selwood that have actually been the players, and Kelly too, that have been able to lift them.
Margin 14 points. Hawkins took it out of the ruck, tried to dish it back towards a teammate in Hunt.
Oh, it was dragged under him, Push under him.
Joel Corey at the base of that.
No, it was dragged under.
So ball up about 30 metres out from Geelong's attacking goal. They're going to the punt road end. And they can well do with a goal. Another one. They got the last one. Scramble. Ooh, taken high was Guerra.
Thank you.
This is where they've got to lock the ball in their forward half. Make sure they put pressure on Hawthorn's elite kicking. Turn the ball over.
Guerra just chips it out wide, taken by Bateman, who wants to go. Long telling ball. Savage is the target. That's a little unusual. Bit too easy for Mackie as a result. And he plays it across the boundary line, so it'll be thrown in out there. Just forward of centre wing, and the rain continues to fall. It is very cold today at the MCG. Probably affected the attendance, but so much interest in this game. In the back, a free kick for Joel Corey. Oh, Paul Chapman's getting a free for being held.
That was just before the Corey. So Mitchell, I think that is.
Move on, Paul. Play on.
Sucking it in. Chapman, good kick. Selwood. Geelong certainly have steadied here. Feel like they're just getting on top. Bartel out wide. Had a couple of options. Back to Kelly. Kelly's kicked to about 25 metres. Hawkins, Guerra dropped it. Ball down low. Christensen had it ripped away. Down low now, Stokes. He's been quiet today. Gibson. Hawkins gets that big body in there. Schoenmakers. Back to Christensen. Christensen belted down. Johnson trying to do something. Burns, and well played Smith, and a boundary throw in.
Just the one tackle there for Geelong this quarter. This is the incident just before where Sam Mitchell got up a little gingerly, and the free kick to Paul Chapman.
Boundary throw in, one forward by Hale. Deep in the pocket, Christensen, as Bruce said, getting busy to Johnson. Johnson hooks back towards goal. Suckling's always got it covered and just pushes it across the line. Oh, there you go.
Wow. Beautiful, isn't it?
Had it all today, haven't we? As the kickoff comes towards our broadcast side, Duncan launched himself, punched it. And half-back Hawthorn's Schoenmakers under pressure, advantages paid. Selwood to Duncan, runs in, needs to kick a goal. Well, they'll get one anyway. Johnson lurking at the back. Now, he didn't mark it in the goal square.
Let me put you on your angle, Steve. Don't play on, you need to be on your mark. Steve, on my arm, I'll sort this out. Steve, you're using your 20 seconds. This is your time.
I've never seen that before.
I'll sort it out.
So Johnson against the line. Two runners waiting. And now it's 50. Well, short off.
I stood where the 5 was. Marks on the line, please.
And the umpire's got it right.
Everyone else heard it.
They weren't 5 metres away. Meantime, Johnson slams it for his third. Heated debate.
I've called.
Yeah, it's hard to hear, mate. It's hard to hear.
I've given the 5.
Keeping fit is a way of life for me, particularly on the inside. That's why I choose Swiss Ultra Boost Inner Balance, a high-potency probiotic that helps keep my digestive system healthy and has been scientifically shown to boost natural immune defence as well. With 26 billion good bacteria in each capsule, it's one of the most potent probiotics you can buy. Keep it in the fridge to maintain potency and you'll feel better on Swiss.
You could see the umpires.
Was it Gibson?
It
couldn't have been Guerra because Guerra didn't move one bit.
So the Cats got a 50 and Johnson kicked the goal. So he's got 3, Hawkins has got 3, and Geelong have come steaming back here within a kick and a bit and starting to win some ball out of the centre as well. And Hawthorn just distracted for the minute, you feel, don't you?
That's an old blocky, fellas.
Again, a change in the seasons with the sun coming through. Johnson trying to read the hit out. It was directed towards him, Suckling to Saul. They've got to get down and dirty again, the Hawks here, because the Cats have got a taste. Well played by Smith. And just kicking forward after winning a one-on-one with Smith. And Joel Selwood, now this will test him.
And it's exactly what Lingy was talking about too. These hard outs, not allowing Hawthorn to escape at this part of the ground. Great concentration there by Selwood. Those scrubby kicks often just drop short like that.
So Selwood doesn't think he can get the trip, so clever. To space and Bartel running onto it.
A few real concentration lapses by the Hawks. Firstly, the Johnson goal, and then you saw Joel Selwood. If we get a replay of it, you see here he is. He's looking at him just saying, I'm going to drop it right there in the space. Needed to be filled.
Jimmy's pocket this against Hawthorn, isn't it? He was on that tight angle when he kicked the point to win them the match. So Geelong coming back so well here, and Bartel hammering it home. So they've kicked 3 goals in about 4 minutes here.
Well, Lingy, I just want to throw a question at you. In the last 5 minutes, I reckon Geelong, obviously they've sensed the situation of this game, but it's almost been a change in the way they've played too. They've actually tried to attack the corridor a little bit more.
They have. I think they've been trying to get the ball in longer and deeper. They know it's a slippery ball. If that ball goes into that 20 metres out from goal, it's a very dangerous position. No point stuffing around with it with handball and going sideways. Go directly at the goals and create a bit of nervous times for the Hawthorn defenders.
Going up, boys.
7 minutes ago, Hawthorn led by 21 points. Now their margin has been eroded. They lead by just the 1. Jimmy Bartel had a good season kicking goals last year, 26, most ever in a season for him. He's in the action again. Does nicely, kicks it down towards half forward. Battle of strength. Johnson stayed on his feet. Stratton fell over but did the job effectively enough. Burgoyne stumbles backwards in the opposite direction. Schoenmakers. Selwood a half play on the ball. Down goes Kelly. Strong tackle got him down. Motlop breaks free. Motlop spots Hawkins. And Hawkins is marked about 45 metres out. A goal to lead and behind to tie it.
Well, this last contest here was a microcosm of the last 6 or 7 minutes. Just repeat effort, then the ability of the Geelong player, it was Motlop on that occasion, to extract it out. Hawthorn need to get back and start winning those contested situations.
Big kick this one then. Tom Hawkins. He's kicked 3-1 this afternoon. Oh, and this one way off to the right-hand side. Sneaks it through for a behind. So scores are level at the G on a cold Monday afternoon. 66 apiece.
So Hawthorn, they've got to maintain the rage here, Hawthorn. Been beaten for the hard ball in the last 5-10 minutes. Gee, Savage did well there.
No, illegal. Straight back.
So against Bruce. Well, Hawthorn, that's a savage blow for them because they were away. Podsy Adley. McCauley did well. Mitchell has had a quieter second half. Kicks the ball back towards the 50. Bruce, who was pinged a moment ago for throwing, uncertain to Rioli, who's just come off the interchange. Back to Bruce, back to Rioli. You'd back him from here, Cyril, and he does. He kicks the goal. He's got 2, Rioli.
Just a crucial spill there by Trent West. It was at centre half forward and got the ball over the top, and the Hawks able to pounce on the turnover. But that's perhaps what Sirioli needed. He just needed something to happen. It was pretty labour-intensive here working with Bruce. Corey Knight actually did a pretty good job in corralling both. But it's a turnover at half forward that killed the Cats on that occasion.
You know what I loved about that, though, Tom, was Sam Mitchell. When he looked up with that ball, he knew that the numbers were even in that part of the ground, and the idea was to get the ball there as quickly as he possibly could. It didn't hit a target, but he said, OK, well, Buddy's going to be one-on-one, Cyril's going to be one-on-one. I reckon we're going to be advantaged by that.
Well, Cameron, both sides seem as though they've got to be challenged to get their best.
Oh, absolutely, but Paul Chapman there went completely against what Geelong's been doing here, like they're doing now, going long and straight at it. Create nervous times.
Runs it down to the goal square, taking it across the line, rough head. Now,
Hey, enough.
Hawkins is asking the question. I was nowhere near him. Spectacular side.
Right in amongst the Cats' brethren. #1 ticket holder Daryl Summers, massive fan of the Geelong Footy Club.
Birchall drives it outside the defensive 50 then. Reaching over the top, Podsy Adderley down to Hunt. Chapman picks it up, sweeping hand pass. Podsy Adderley goes short, deliberate. Punched away though by Suckling. Coming through was Johnson. Schoenmakers over the football, clever hand pass, Roughhead. Gave it to Stratton. Stratton looking for Mitchell. Bowled over by Hunt. Comes to Corey. Corey swings it across the body. Loose ball about 20 metres out. Hard man to bring down there was Hawkins. Rioli found that. Hawkins got free, well, almost, and then kicked it across the boundary line. Clock running down to three-quarter time. Just over 6 minutes.
Terrific quarter. Geelong have come back hard. Over the top, West. Well played by Stokes, but Hawthorn have got numbers. Ball not out, though. And where is it? Who's got it? Not sure. And then toe poke by Burgoyne. Mitchell, front spot, dragged down, got rid of it, just released the footy. Christensen's been busy in this term. Back to Lonigan. Savage's tackle was good. Bartel held up. I think he's gone now. Mitchell's got him.
On the ball. No genuine attempt, James. No genuine attempt.
Hasn't been called James for a while.
That's exactly what I was going to ask you. Why did he want to be Jimmy?
He works in mysterious ways, the dark horse.
You've had a couple of name changes at Geelong, haven't you? With Rook and...
Oh, did you see Max Rook down on the boundaries in a coaching capacity now with the footy club?
He was Jared, wasn't he?
He was Jared. The story goes that there was too many different ways to spell it, so he ran with Max.
Wasn't put a hockey whiskers in one match many years ago?
He was.
Well, strange things turn into good things at Geelong, don't they?
This is what they like to do, the Hawks.
Stratton to Smith. What a good game it is, Dennis.
Enjoying it, Bruce. Here's Smith. Remarkable story in his own right. Goes short. White Cross liked his game. Birchall. They edge forward. Under 5 minutes till three-quarter time.
I reckon they've worked it to the long position now.
Hawthorn by 5. High ball in front end right. Spills the mark. Follows up. Ball wedged between his legs. Grabbed by Burgoyne. And the umpire will ball it up.
Between his legs.
Absolutely love the job that Taylor Hunt's now doing on Sam Mitchell. He's really knuckling down and trying to stop the gun Hawthorn on baller.
Burgoyne played it pretty well. Bateman. Down goes Franklin. White Cross. Now they create some space. Mitchell gave it to Smith, but the kick is off target and goes through for a minor score.
Still time they've looked really dangerous, Hawthorn, when they can string out from a contest with a chain of handballs, and it's very Hawthorn the way they do it going left, and ultimately in the end end up in the hands of one of their dynamic left footers, Smith, on that occasion.
Franklin's had little impact since quarter time, hasn't he? I mean, he's probably hasn't had a lot of one-on-one chances, but just the 2 goals early in the match, so that could be some upside for the Hawks in the last quarter. Geelong work it okay. Hawkins has been a towering influence. Schoenmakers has really struggled today. Burns, Rioli. I'm glad Burns didn't know. He would have had a nervous breakdown if he knew who was coming at him.
That's not fair. A beep should go off.
Oh, here comes Cyril, eh? So Suckling with a high ball in. Here comes Franklin. Can he get a crack at it? Front spot was Bateman. Lonigan's handball. Savage tries to, and then Lewis's swift run over the top. Lonigan, well played, Franklin. Buddy in the pocket, goes for goal. And Bartel, he's good at both ends, and in the middle is Jimmy.
Just pops it across to support. Kick comes out from Duncan. Not very effective. Podsy Adderley wedged between 2 Hawks. And we'll have a ball up. Discussion between Duncan And Bartel behind play. That wasn't a good kick coming out. Had he known it was coming, I don't think Jimmy would have released the ball. And he's back in the action now. And the umpire again will do the business as we count down to three-quarter time. So Hawthorn out by 21 points. Have been reeled in by these Cats who have been relentless. Wide of the pack, Joel Corey, pursued by Burgoyne, heads for the boundary. Now, he was being pushed. I reckon that's a tough call.
With you on that, Dennis. He was being pushed. He actually was crunched on the kick.
Nothing you can do in that situation.
No. Birchall sends it down towards the 50. Franklin came at it hard. Almost the mark, though, to Harry. Not paid. Hand pass from Bruce. Comes across to Osborne. And his kick is wide of the mark. Players getting a bit tired, as you'd expect. It's been a very physical game.
He's had a fair bit of that.
Didn't he?
So maybe Harry a bit stiff. West worked underneath it by Macaulay. Bartel's been really good in close.
How many times have we seen that in the last 5 or 6 minutes? Mitchell to Bartel or Bartel to Mitchell, both balls really hunting the footy.
It's a matchup. You wanted a bit of that at half-time to see those guys go. Taylor Hunt's been involved as well. West gets rid of his man. Osborne, third man up. Chapman, well done. Got the... It was touch play on. Rioli's little... Now, Suckling is a long kick. Goes with it and drills it home.
Wow.
Get fired up. Next Monday, 7:30, it begins.
That was so good. I fear how good you're going to be.
Australia's Got Talent begins next Monday, 7:30.
There's Cyril just slipping in the greasy conditions at the MC. Just a very soft handball to Suckling's come into the play in this third quarter. So too has Birchall. He only had 4 up until half-time. He's up to 13, so he's had a big third quarter.
Umpire throws it up this time. Strong tackle on Kelly. He might be penalised. He is. Steve Johnson running the boundary. Hobbled. Brewster's got the football. Suckling with that last goal. Made his debut against the Cats, round 1 of 09. His first opponent was Steve Johnson. The man you saw running and trying to work that Corky out. Down goes Lewis, straddling him as Corey. There's a Hawthorn player down behind play. Comes back to Corey. Well worked by Smets. Kick from Corey towards midfield. Reaching high, Stratton didn't touch the football though. Podsy Adley ran into a dead end. Roughhead relishing his return. Took him down. And we'll have a ball up. Very black cloud around at the moment. Corley is slow to get up. He's been a valuable player. And Johnson, well, that's going to be interesting. Will we see him again? 3 goals alongside his name. I think we might get some more rain. There's Sewell, who likes his stats to be measured now in Roman numerals. He kicks inside the forward 50. And it's going to be a free kick to Lonergan, who hand passes across to the run of Mackey. Mackey's kick comes towards midfield, and Birchall finishes the quarter as he started. A short one finds Rioli.
Well, he's also lifted, hasn't he, Rioli, and then goes short again. Bateman holds it. This will test him for distance, but the 2 guys that Tim and Tom talked about at halftime, Birchall had 4 disposals, Rioli had 5. Here's Macaulay's injury.
And Geelong play the corridor more than any other team in the competition. It's just been crunched from behind there. Their last 3 kicks, they've tried to attack the corridor, and they just haven't been able to stick them.
Massive kick this. This would give Hawthorn a very big lead at 3/4 time. He's not going to get the distance. Franklin's got it. No. Whitecross has kicked another one. Hawthorn lead by 3. Whitecross has got 2 goals.
Just the right place at the right time. It was a terrific contest by Lance Franklin. He was outnumbered 2-1, but Whitecross has put himself in the right position on so many occasions, particularly around the contest, but we'll get a good look at it here. Just gets to the feet, right there, goes left. And there are so many left-footers on the Hawthorn team that's almost instinctive to go out that way every time.
It won't go down as an assist, but it was as good as an assist, wasn't it? Because it was Buddy's attempt to take the next fumble of the ball that drew Kelly to the contest, which left Whitecross free.
Brendan Whitecross is an emerging young player. They persevered with him. There's Johnson back up the race now. Hale knocks it down. Mitchell, beautiful hand pass to the run of Birchall. Can they get another? We're down to 18 seconds. There's Whitecross again. Sweeping hand pass out wide. Rioli. Rioli goes for his teammate down there in Franklin. Franklin hands to it again. Couldn't hang on. There were plenty of hands at the football. Bartel will get a free kick. Will they take advantage? They do. Guthrie, he's at right half back. Drives it up towards the wing and the siren sounds. Well, Geelong hold in the last 30 seconds, but a lot of damage done right there. They got it back to being level after being down by 21, and now it's blown out again to 18. What a strange game. What a good game. Three-quarter time. Easter Monday at the MCG. Hawthorn 13-7, the premiership favourites over the reigning premiers. Geelong at 10-7. Two great sides really putting on a show at three-quarter time at the MCG on Easter Monday. Right now, it's Hawthorn by 18 points. As we said, they led by 21 early in that third term. Geelong came storming back, but now Hawthorn have kicked away. And I think we've got a preview, Lee Montagna, of what we're likely to see in this final term in the last 15 minutes of that third quarter, in and under the hard ball.
Yeah, certainly. It's been a high contested ball game, and in the second half of that quarter, Hawthorn got back on top. Geelong did well to grind their way back into it and got into the contest, but Hawthorn late in that quarter started to win the contested ball, and I think this last quarter, it's going to be that. It's going to be the bigger bodies of either side. Geelong are going to rely on guys like Joel Corey, Jimmy Bartel to win that hard ball, and for Hawthorn to be guys like Brad Sewell and Sam Mitchell. But I certainly wouldn't be discounting Geelong here. In the last 7 times they've beaten Hawthorn, they've been behind 4 times at three-quarter time. So It shows the quality of the Geelong side, and they're certainly getting right in this. Man, who's done his homework as we go down to the boundary with Cameron Ling. And so far today, the history of this game tells us, Lingy, that Geelong are capable of fighting back.
Absolutely, Dennis. They won't give up, I know that. And Joey touched on the fact that Geelong can come back from being down at three-quarter time. Stevie Johnson had a fitness test at three-quarter time with the doc, kicking with Mitch Brown. It's a bad corky. We'll see whether or not they substitute early on here, but he has kicked 3 goals, so the Geelong need him out there.
Thanks, Cameron.
And Macca, there's nothing really in store for either side in terms of the subs, because they're pretty similar for both teams. You've got Brown on one side, who's more of a forward-type marking player, and Gunston for Hawthorn too, so they're not going to get an injection of life in either midfield.
Gunston did have an impact when he came on late last week against the Pies.
So start of the final term. It's been a great match so far. Hawthorn lead by 3 goals. They haven't beaten Geelong since the 2008 grand final. Whitecross has been very, very good. Sewell and Selwood go for the same football. Well done by Kelly. Ball came out to Duncan, pushing the ball forward. Birchall had a fantastic third quarter. He and Rioli were the two that had to lift, and they both did in the third term. Floating ball towards the wing, still in play. And did that come off Smith, or was it out? It came off Smith. So he's a bit stiff there as Isaac Smith. So Guthrie looks a likely type. Played the first couple of matches last year, got injured. Was given a roll on Mitchell for about 5 minutes before halftime. Nice kick. Bartel, well done. He's one of the great marks for his size in the AFL. He is the man for the big occasion, Jimmy Bartel. Just a hand there, but holding more than a push, and he took a beauty.
Tough mark in these conditions. Yeah. Lingy, you've been down there at ground level. The wind still looks like it's a factor out there, and it's getting really wet and greasy too.
It certainly has, Tim. It's bucketing down now, and it's going to mean that footy is in a contest, and it's just going to be about the team that gets in hardest and lowest.
It's a good kick. It's a great kick. Oh, he's a beauty, Bartel, isn't he? Oh.
The VB Razor Glass Appeal is one of the single biggest public contributions to veterans' welfare in Australia. This year, VB once again will donate $1 million to the RSL and Legacy. I'll be raising a glass to the men and women in the Middle East. Who will you raise a glass to?
reckon if you're going to have someone kick for your life, Jimmy Bartell would certainly be one of those guys. He's got ice running through his veins, and he has done everything the game has to put up there for the taking.
Coincidentally, they are the reigning champs. Out of the middle, kicked down by Kelly towards half forward, coming up and meeting it well as Burgoyne. He's been solid back there. Awkward one at the feet of Whitecross, and the ball goes out of bounds. Helped across by Guthrie. And the rain is tumbling down at the MCG. So many extremes today. This massive hailstorm at about 1:30. Had some bright sunshine, some blue sky, and now this again. And blue sky in evidence as the ball finds its way back onto the field. Sewell kicks it down beyond the wing, bounces for Hale, stolen away by Taylor, then he lost it. Rough head, sets Franklin up the old firm. Oh, but the kick slid the wrong way. Minor score to Franklin.
He's kicked a few of those today, Dennis. A couple of goals early, but 2 goals for Buddy. That would have been telling. Mackie. Christensen liked his game since half-time. Taylor, just a slip and a fumble, and then a push-up back to Kelly, back to Taylor. That ball really greasy at the moment. So hard to mark, you would think. Well done, Suckling.
Oh, Dad, Jimmy.
It's a great mark by Matt Suckling. It ends up being an uncontested chest mark, but the ball is swirling out of control down there.
Burgoyne on with Dennis. I think he's been good today.
Come out, Mitch.
Birchall. Stakes so high for Hawthorn. I mean, that so much talked about they haven't beaten Geelong for a long time. They've had their chances in those 7 matches. Rarely have they been beaten more than by a couple of goals.
15, play on.
And today, well, they've made most of the running since quarter time, but Geelong are still very much in it. Johnson, creative as always. Taylor Hunt, not a good handball. Rioli did so well. Motlop and Rioli. Then Whitecross. He's been terrific today, Whitecross. Floats the ball to Savage. Savage has got some time. Can he deliver? It's a floater. Franklin, the old 1-2 to Ruffy, and then Ruffy bounces it home for a point. So Roughhead and Franklin have missed a couple of dribblers in the last couple of minutes.
See, they thought their way through it well, though. Even Savage, the kick wasn't good, but he was trying to get it to Roughhead.
Great tap from Buddy there, too.
Enright to the outer side. Lewis perhaps should have tried to mark. As it was, it comes off his fist and goes across the boundary line.
It's a great mental battle right now, though, too, isn't it? The Hawthorn know that they've had Geelong in this situation before, and they haven't been able to get the job done. Whereas Geelong know that they've been able to win from really difficult circumstances, regularly over the last 4 or 5 years.
Tim has got this game on the couch. It comes across towards Burgoyne. Burgoyne kicks down towards 50. Spilt. Mackie competing there with Roughhead. Crumbed by Christensen. Gave it to Johnson. Worked forward by West. A bit of a fumble from Selwood. That ball is very slippery. On to Corey. Corey goes long down towards the pocket. And Stokes had no chance. That sort of aeroplaned away from him and went out of bounds.
Cats have had a lot of time in their forward 50. Just haven't been able to score from this exact situation. The same problem occurred at Fremantle, scoring at stoppages inside their forward 50.
Saw the champ looking on. We spoke with him before the game. Luke Hodge falling to the ground. Gibson. Selwood out of the congestion. Touch ball. That goes Burgoyne.
So Burgoyne goes long. Good kick over the top. Bruce read it well against Guthrie. Doesn't get a kind bounce. Probably wants the boundary line now and gets it. Just saw Stokes a moment ago. Just 4 disposals for Matthew Stokes. Could be an influence in this last quarter. Can kick a goal in a tight match. We know that. That's been his trademark really over the years. Lewis taps it down. Selwood getting busy again. Back towards the 50. Oh, Hawkins! He's got a presence, hasn't he, now? Can he go all the way here, Tommy?
Yeah, he can. The breeze is playing up a little bit, but on any given day, he can launch the ball 50 plus.
Goes short. That's his 7th mark inside 50. Remember, he took 7 contested marks in the grand final. Now Chapman, who is a long, long kick to full forward. Podsy Adley takes a one-hander.
Right here. In line. Play on.
Plays on and kicks the goal. Geelong coming back hard. Pods has got 3.
Amy's Safe Driver Rewards took me here. I can now indulge in a few more pleasures.
I think I know you.
But with 15% off my insurance, I can afford to.
You Rhonda.
Terra McCarthy.
No. You stay. Beautiful driver, beautiful brake foot.
Amy Safe Driver Awards offer up to 15% discount for drivers who don't claim. Where will the savings take you?
Rhonda is mine.
Yeah, this is a real danger for Hawthorn. Just the key power forwards for Geelong, certainly too strong in the one-on-one. It was Gibson on that occasion. Shoalmakers has been. And have a look at this for a reconstructed shoulder. And look at Stevie J's response. He didn't quite get it, but he didn't appreciate the force that came with.
Bartel gave it to Corey. Hunt deflected it across to Chapman. Chapman has had his kick marked by Hawkins.
This bloke's become a colossus, hasn't he?
Wow, Schoenmakers was just dismissed summarily.
He needs to go back and actually kick this one. We know at the other end of the ground the ball actually held up. Here's that missed high five again. I reckon he can make the distance here. I reckon the wind is going to favour this kick from this position.
So the big forwards of the Cats making their mark on what's been a very seesawing affair. Now, if the man didn't come over the mark, Hawkins lost track of where the mark was because he got far too close and simply shanked it out of bounds on the full. I do have a theory. The man on the mark should stand on the mark and be made to stand on the mark, Tommy.
So 50 metres. I didn't call him to play on.
So 50 minutes. Lingy, what have you got for us down there, mate?
Hawthorn have activated their sub, Macaulay off and Gunston on to provide a bit of run for them.
He just break the 5-metre protected area.
So
Here, Trent, here now.
So you'd expect Hale and Ruff. Oh, it's another 50.
That is just inexcusable, that. He had plenty of time. He was trying to milk it as much as he possibly could. That would have been part of the focus, to make sure that you're slowing up Hawthorn when they've got control of the ball. But in a game of yardage in these conditions, that's just made it far too easy for Hawthorn to pump this in their forward line.
Well, one thing for Geelong, they've been able to get back. But Hawthorn now to attack, and Burgoyne to set it up to full forward. Hale the target. Ball comes out. Gunston was there. Saul tries to get rid of Corey.
Legal disposal. Took the tackler on, didn't dispose the footy.
I think it's a very good decision. It's exactly what Saul tried to do with Joel Corey.
Roughhead sitting free down the line, so this kick is a brave kick. Brave kick.
Finds Mackie just behind centre-half back. Goes for distance. Slides off the outside of the boot. Stratton, almost the mark. Play-on's the call. Stratton's over the football. Now he needs to be careful. The ball doesn't come out. Hawkins at the base of the pack.
Thanks, Paul.
And the ball up.
Hales, next step for Tom Hawkins. He's taking some terrific contested grabs, but he's got to go back and nail those goals, doesn't he?
Yeah, no doubt about that, Ling. He owns the forward line now, which is the first part, and then it's important for him to take all that responsibility on him and kick the clutch goals when counted.
Smith trying to emerge with the football. Three Cats clinging to him.
Gave it a chance.
Ball up. Marks inside 50. That's not bad, is it? One down by West, reaching over the top there. Burgoyne almost waiting to be tackled. Down he goes.
He's making a genuine attempt.
Well, the Hawks have got Roughhead now as a loose man, sitting in between Hawkins and Gibson and Podsiadly and Schoenmakers, just to the right of screen.
And Franklin's been on the interchange for a few minutes, so he's not here, Franklin, when this ball comes forward. Smith's wobbly kick. Mackie did a good job. I wonder how many more goals are in this match. By the way, you don't feel like there's a lot now, do you? They're so tired, these players. I know it can open up, but I'm not sure how many goals are left. You'd think if Hawthorn could get another one or two. But they've stopped scoring in this final term. Johnson and Chapman. Mitchell tries to get it out. Does. Lewis. They have to backtrack, though. Stratton under pressure. Geelong doing really well here. Kelly off a sidestep. Kicks the ball. There is Roughhead and Podsiadly.
High contact, Jared Roughhead.
Gee, that's a win, isn't it? A big win.
Jared Roughhead, high contact. Time back on, play on.
Back to Birchall. Birchall to Stratton.
Don't think these umpires have missed a trick this afternoon. Stratton goes down towards half forward. Over the top West, only as far as Rioli. Speaking of tricks, Smith on his left foot, just squeezed up for room. I think he was conscious of that and puts it out of bounds on the full. Enright to bring it in. 8 points the margin. Still oodles of time. On the outer side, Whitecross, one of his few mistakes, he missed it. Selwood to Christensen. Back over the shoulder. Christensen will get a free, will he?
strife
No,
here.
through there,
He's
hang
in
on.
trouble.
Yours.
When a player looks down like that, you know that they think they've injured the other guy seriously. Just watch this again. There's, gee, that's the point of the shoulder right into his.
And he knew straight across, Whitecross, didn't he? Just watch his response here.
And that's a class act by Whitecross.
He knew straight away.
And we know that Joel Selwood went down heavily at the beginning of last season too, in that first game of the home and away season against St Kilda.
It's against Christensen for that hand pass over the head. Well, that's not bad. We're seeing Selwood getting up under his own well, sort of.
He's no good.
And he was still playing the captain's role. He was actually, you saw his mouth, he was saying dogger. That's Steve Johnson saying, Steve, organise the team whilst I'm on the ground. That's outstanding work. And then you can see Steve Johnson there on the instructions from Joel Selwood.
I'm not sure he knows exactly where he is, Tom.
Selwood has worked so hard today. Interesting too, Sam Mitchell, only 7 possessions in the second half. Ran riot in the first. Nothing sinister there. But not what we want to see. Selwood jogs off. Don't know why we're hearing the boos as the kick goes down towards the 50. Lonigan helped on its way by Corey. That was terrific as it worked out. There goes the kick from Johnson. Dogger down towards the 50. On the deck, Motlop got into his move too early. Not so Hawkins. Gathers it around the corner. Johnson takes the mark. Well, those instructions have paid off, eh? If nothing else, Jono's got himself in the game.
Inside his range here, Tom, or not? Just outside?
Just on it, I think, Tim.
That's your 5, Brad. That's yours, Mike.
So Johnson.
He's got Bartel behind him.
That wasn't the move of the confident man. Goes off at the angle, trying to work it back right to left. It's a long kick behind.
Lingy, Joel Selwood just came off. They've got Mitch Brown as the sub. Firstly, how's Joel looking in? And secondly, who would you take off for Mitch Brown?
Yeah, it's a tough one, Tom. I don't think they'd want to make the swap of Joel Selwood for Mitch Brown. You certainly want Joel out there. He's sitting there looking okay right now. I think they'd prefer if they could bring a forward off for Mitch Brown.
Dangerous kick. Showmakers couldn't quite. Asked a bit of him. Christensen to Corey. They've kicked 2-1 to 2 points in this quarter, Geelong. Right now, they are looking the better team. But they still trail by 7 points.
They just can't penetrate that 40-metre mark, can they? All the shots they're having are really difficult shots in these conditions.
And
this will be beyond him too.
Selwood getting ready. So Corey, a bit like the Johnson kick, not quite going to make it. Hawkins gets rid of a few and gives away a free kick.
Tom, Brink, where is kick?
She hurts you, Hawkins. He's not there yet, but you feel like he's got a bit of cloak about him at the moment, Hawkins. You know, the way cloak can demand that.
He's got that presence, hasn't he?
Yeah, he does in the marking situation. He doesn't have the aerobic capacity of cloak to cover all the ground, but he's as imposing as anyone in the marking contest deep in the forward 50.
So Hawthorn here, trying hard to get the ball out. Whitecross and Schmitz. That's a wonderful mark played on. Handball down low. Rioli over the top. Gunston.
One here.
Gunston, the short one beyond the wing to Savage. It really opens up now. Savage kicks long. Franklin is one out, although Mackey's coming across to assist. Franklin has Mackey to beat. Screws it back towards the square. Osborne in 2 minds. Do I pick it up? Well, while he was thinking all of that, it's knocked across the line. Behind, well done by Mackey. Mackey went to apply pressure initially to Franklin. Got back to the goal square to pressure what Franklin set up. Off the ground by Kelly. Stopped by Roughhead. That was brilliant. Across to Hale. Hale sends it inside the forward 50. Bartel. Jimmy Bartel takes the mark. About 40 metres out from his own defensive goal. 88 plays 80. Hawthorn on top. Bartel looks for the leading Podsiadel. He juggles it. The defensive side of the wing. Sends it long. All pairs here. They haven't got the extra man back. As a result, Hawkins able to crumb it. Gets it across to Stokes. Stokes confronted there by Schoenmakers. Comes back to Stokes. Stokes a hand pass in the direction of West. Through his fingertips. Picked up by Roughhead to Whitecross. Goes along the boundary line. Osborne comes to meet it. Hard against the interchange gates. Keeps it alive. Wants to soccer it. Still going, Osborne. Down towards half forward. Tried to slap it past Lonigan. Picked it up again. And hand passes to Hawthorn's advantage. Now, it was certainly deliberate, but you couldn't penalise him for that because he was out on his feet.
Cameron Ling, what do you got, mate?
Dennis, Bruce, Billy Smets has come off as a sub for Geelong. Mitch Brown on. Mitch Brown very dangerous around goal. If he gets it a couple of times, he's capable of kicking a goal.
And so Selwood back on. Savage ducked his head down, no free. Lewis, a left footer in a good spot. Belts the ball to fall forward. Mackie, Franklin belts him to the ground. Bruce got a high one, free kick.
It's definitely there. Rugby league pedigree.
Head over the footy. Time back on.
Barrett, rugby league great in southern New South Wales.
He hasn't kicked so well in the first 2 weeks this year. He's been a terrific shot for goal last year. Kicked 30 goals, second to Franklin in the best and fairest. And there you go.
Well, cool, Bruce.
Well, he has not looked good in front of goals this season so far. I know it's very early. Gee, they've had 2 big chances in the last. The Osborne miss in the goal square, the Mackie effort.
And there's plenty of time still on the clock, isn't there?
Yep. Duncan straight down the middle, 2-1 to 4 behinds in this term, favouring Geelong. Bartel, the longer it's gone, the better he's played. Lays it off to Selwood, back in the action, down towards half forward. Some hesitation. Gibson's got it. He was claimed. Well done by Burns. Good tackle initially by Stokes. Burns tracking it out towards the boundary. Too nimble for Stratton. Hooks it back towards the middle. Getting back, sensing the danger. Gibson gives it to Guerra. Guerra short. And it's juggled by Roughhead. What a return it's been. Wait to see him back. Comes out to Savage. Savage can go long to Bruce. His metres in the clear. He may stop here. Just looks back towards the middle. Guthrie got him. Advantage is taken. Kicked down towards half forward by Enright. The arm's taken down there. The free kick will go to Hawkins. Hawkins is forward of the wing. Under 8 minutes to play.
Let's try and contest the footy, Ryan.
That's a great tackle there by Guthrie.
Yeah, just didn't see it first.
Chapman got it from Hawkins, runs around Schoenmakers, searching kick inside the forward 50, taken by Selwood, great hand pass, spotted Hunt, the kick not the equal of the earlier good work, wanders down towards the pocket, Motlop's outnumbered, could have been legged, played for the kick, not sure he should have, Suckling's away, Suckling takes on a would-be tackler, has a bounce.
Does very well, Suckling, lovely little kick to Saul, Gee, thought his way through there. What a great game, and it's building, isn't it, for what could be a fantastic finish. Franklin's been pretty well held since quarter time. Bouncing ball, Taylor Hunt's been one of the heroes for the Cats. The ball in the contest, Christensen's got better as it's gone on. Goes and kicks to Pods, it's down the field. It's a Geelong ball.
Great high contact. Downfield. Late high contact.
Against Osborne.
No doubt about that one.
It's a downfield for a kick.
This game's been every bit as physical as what we'd anticipated it might be.
So Podsiadly's kicked 3, Hawkins 3, Johnson 3. They have relied heavily on the big guys today. He's got a good record against the Hawks. He kicked 6 last year in the home and away match when Geelong got out of jail, and they might be getting out of jail here again today. Pods, bang, he's got 4.
It's a sign. They bought a sensible SUV.
One word. Grandchildren. I like Nan or Nana. Grandma's nice.
I like Pa.
You'll be Pop. It's been decided. It'll be great-grandchildren next. Great Nana. Oh.
What a finish. What a game. 2 great teams. Almost carved out in each other's image. Podsiadly on the sharp angle got the goal. The coach is prancing. They had this one 3 or 4 times this afternoon. Tossed up in the middle, just under 7 minutes to go. Wide of the pack, Kelly tries to soccer off the ground. Great courage there by Lewis. Pushed in the side by Corey. Let's kick forward the high one down towards half forward. Off hands, socced forward by Selwood. It goes down towards the pocket. Guerra, he tried to soccer it, missed it. Now he does. Sends it about 15 metres. Ricochets back towards the 50. This game has suddenly changed into another code. Eventually, Taylor's got it. That's better. Taylor long bomb down towards full forward. In from the side, White cross. Open goal, Podsiadly. He's got another one. He's got 5 for the afternoon. Cats lead by 3 points. Can you believe it?
Really sloppy defence there from the Hawthorn defenders. That ball was always going over the top. It was Whitecross who's had a fantastic game. High 20 possessions. He's overcommitted. Podsiadly was in the contest, but knew, we get a good look at it here. It's a mongrel punt coming in from Harry Taylor. Knew it was going over the back. You saw him just turn as the pack formed. And there's the goal. Really clever play from the J-Pod.
I know it's a touch ball, but every player on the ground that is wearing the blue and white hoops saw what Jimmy Bartell did. How could you not be inspired by that?
Yep, he made the effort to take the mark.
It was incredible.
He is
some player.
Yeah. So Geelong, who has not led for 58 minutes until now, Bartell again off the ground. Burns running hard. Back to Christensen, ridden into the ground. Burgoyne squeezes it out. What is it about these two teams? I mean, they just bring out the best of each other, don't they?
Now, Hawthorn have got to have a rethink too, because they've pushed the numbers behind. Now they're behind. They're actually going to have to even up the numbers up the other end of the ground, I think. Geelong have got a spare, or they had a spare from that centre bounce across half-back.
You feel like Hawthorn the last 10 minutes have played with bright lights in their eyes, don't you? They've been starstruck a bit. I mean, they have really not taken their chances. Free kick to Selwood.
They're just amazing too.
Geelong are just harder at it right now.
Selwood, Bartell, Joel Corey, James Kelly. Sam Mitchell's had a fantastic game. He's been quiet in the second half. He needs to really lift the tempo, get his side over the line.
So Selwood kicks inside the 50. Podsiadly reading it well. Guerra's under the pump here. Belts the ball as far as he can. Burgoyne has to set himself. Well done coming in from the side by Corey. Corey gets a second toe poke, and that ball just about Lingy. Can you hear me down there? Can you smell a bit of Hawthorn blood, Lingy? Can you?
Well, that was the big thing. If it got this close late in the game, would it affect Hawthorn psychologically? They've been in this position before. Will they choke up, or will they lift and get the first win for a long time?
After the boundary throw in, Mitchell advances it about 20 metres. Harry Taylor slides in, stripped of it, falling backwards is Bruce. Head down was Duncan. Rioli had a half chance. It's still in there, and the umpire blows the whistle.
That free play is still off the back of this stoppage too. So Geelong now, Osborne's going forward now, so they're going to even the numbers up.
No time wasted. Slapped out of there by West. Ricochets off Chapman, back into the congestion. Franklin's hands. Pretty slick there, missed his target, but was held in a lingering tackle. So Buddy Franklin, the defensive side of the wing, beautiful kick. Osborne, there could still be a sting in the tail of this game. Osborne goes short towards half forward. Gunston comes up, takes the mark, 55 metres out. It's been all one-way traffic, but now Hawthorn go inside their forward 50, a rare occasion. Off hands, Burgoyne had a chance there. It just went wide of him and out of bounds. What a game.
Been fantastic, Dennis. Geelong have won 5 of their last 7 against Hawthorn by 10 points or under. Chapman, Stratton and Motlop. Guerra, ridden into the ground by Stokes. Good stuff. Motlop controls the kick to Hawkins. How quickly can he get it on? They're streaming forward, the Cats, over the top. Running on it all, missed by Christensen. He sped it before he actually got it. Birchall wraps him up. Play on, ball almost out. Whitecross working hard, Kelly in there hard. And that ball still not quite coming out. Umpire letting it go, and now ball up.
Had they got out, Burns had actually streamed into the forward line. He was alone, about 10 metres out from goal.
That was virtually the ball game. But Christensen, give him his due, he's been a good player. One of his few blemishes this afternoon. Kelly put the body in, Hale got the hand pass out. Wide cross. Smith sends a high ball up towards the wing. Brown. It's coming back. It will go to Enright. Brown went back and split the pack. Enright was bundled out of that back. Man on, across the ground, decides not to take the risk. It was Mackey, comes short instead to the sub. Now on the ground, that's Brown. So 3.5 minutes to go, and the ball is going in the wrong direction. Plus, momentum is wearing blue and white. Hawkins on the lead. Ball runs free at the back.
Not much you think the coach can do from here, Tim, is there? I mean,
no, well, Al Clarkson's now evened up the numbers, so that's all he really can do. They've got to win the game here. It's really about their midfielders now and their ability to burrow in and get a ball.
Every clearance important. Christensen almost got one. Smith, Burgoyne sort of hacks it forward. Gunston, that's a mark.
Now they've got to stream forward into space.
He's got to wait here, Gunston, because he just doesn't have the numbers. Well, he kicked it in a hurry, and I'm not sure if that was the right thing to do. That Franklin might get onto the end of it. Buddy, 50, 48. What will it do? It won't make it. It's pulled up. Oh. Duncan to Mackey. Good kick. Hawkins has been terrific, hasn't he?
Been fantastic. But he's still running like that this late in the game too, and presenting.
That's something we haven't seen from him previously. So that takes great aerobic capacity to cover the ground like that this late in the game. That's a big plus for Tom Hawkins.
Chapman pops it over the top. Hawkins making himself available again. Got it on the wing.
He's at the 20 disposals now, Tom Hawkins.
2.5 minutes to go. Hawkins, just a high ball, not so far from the boundary. Gibson tries to get it there for Hawthorn. Stokes has had a pretty unfortunate day. Hasn't had much go right, hasn't seen much of the football. Puts it out of bounds on the full.
We just saw a moment ago Al Clarkson back on screen there. Now we know how angry he was after they lost that prelim final game. He thought that they had in their control. Well, there's been a number of occasions this afternoon when you thought that Hawthorn had this game in control as well.
And Tim, that was 17 points at three-quarter time. This was 18, so very different stakes, I understand, but similar numbers, weren't they? And just the fact they haven't been able to get the Cats since 08, eh?
Just keeping an eye on Jimmy Bartell. He's the player who's pushing himself defensively. Osborne's gone to him, knowing that he's positioning himself so well.
Mitchell, who's had a quiet second half after a magnificent first half. Chapman, familiar names, aren't they, for the Cats? Taylor, that's a poor kick to Gibson. So there's still a roll of the dice here. We know that there's about 1 minute and 3/4 to go. Gibson's kicked to about 80 metres. Rough head almost. Well done at the back by Brown. Bit of an airy saw with strength to Burgoyne. Now Burgoyne decides to offer one step to fall forward. A one-on-one free kick against Bateman to Enright.
Clock is down to 1:20 now. Shake if the head comes from Bateman. Stands for naught. Enright, spoke about him before the game. Fine defender, resolute defender. Drives it towards the outer side. Clock stops. Boundary throw in. Rain falls.
Got one play, I reckon, left. They will need to win the ball from this stoppage. They've got to try and open their forward line up a little bit downfield, which they're doing.
Mitchell tried to grab it after the boundary throw in. He's working over the football. Hawkins in the opposite direction. Half chance there to go forward. Bartell was stripped. It comes to Sewell. He's tackled by Chapman. Hacked out of there by Lewis. Going back, it's missed by Bartell. Socket forward by Osborne. Sliding in his Enright. Over the football is Savage. Gives a hand pass to Burgoyne. Burgoyne needs this to go out of bounds. Bartell, well, he let it go out of bounds.
Just reads the play so well, Jimmy Bartell.
Well, that stops the clock. That's a strange one. If Jimmy had taken the footy, although looking up ahead, he's such a professional, he may have seen there wasn't a Geelong player on this side of the ground anyway.
Savage trying to get it out. Geelong just hold it in. Ball still coming forward. Geelong's in a good spot now. Johnson from Burns, still with Stevie J. Kicked a couple of goals early. He's got 3. That's out on the full. This is the last roll now. Guerra, good man to have the footy. They need a mark or something over the back. Oh, rough it! Almost the kick forward by Gunston's are behind.
Look who was sitting back there too, Tommy. The goalkeeper.
Yep.
Can you believe it? Geelong are going to do it to them again, you reckon, don't you?
Yep.
There's a massive ticker inside this club, isn't it?
Bartell as far as he can. Long ball out wide. Belted forward by Burgoyne. That's it. The Cats have won another thriller against the Hawks. Unbelievable match. Geelong by 2 points, 92 to 90. The irony that Osborne actually kicked that ball through for a goal after the siren. They just can't find a way. Cameron Ling's down there with Tom Hawkins. How good was the Hawk today, Lingy?
Absolutely amazing today, Tom Hawkins. What about the fighting spirit of the Geelong Football Club? You must be proud of all the boys. Terrific effort, mate.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic. Obviously, you know, we love playing in these big games. Easter Monday at the G in front of a lot of people. So, yeah, no, that's a great win for us. We played pretty well last week, we thought. We just did little things wrong. And, you know, it was good. We played pretty well today, so very happy.
And for yourself, mate, it was great that you could stand up and take a couple of big marks up forward. You don't mind playing at the MCG in the big games now, do you, mate?
No, it's sensational. I mean, I always like to credit the midfield because they're the ones that work hard in the middle, win the contested ball and get it forward. So they make our job easy. So
well done, mate. Go and enjoy it.
And that says it all, really. Alistair Clarkson was nonplussed. And then Monkhorst alongside. Another game has slipped from their grasp. Tom Hawkins talking there with Cameron. Career high disposals 22, career high marks 12 this afternoon in the wet, if you don't mind.
He's had a great day, Tom Hawkins. I was following him on Twitter. He was up at about 6:30 watching the golf, and so he'll sleep well tonight. A pretty early start for him and a fantastic game. PBs and marks and disposals, and just his presence in the contest, his presence in the forward 50 was something to behold today.
Lingy.
I've got James Kelly here, boys, mate. You just got to love those, don't you? Just a fierce, hard contest. Hawthorn are a quality team, but you got to love getting up in those ones.
Oh, absolutely. You know, going into three-quarter time, we're down by 3 goals, obviously, and we knew that if we kept working and kept being first in the ball and being really hard around the contest, we'd hopefully get over the line. And I think we might have dodged the bullet with a few shots on goal late, but still happy with the win.
And a fantastic experience for some of the young guys. Taylor Hunt doing a job on Sam Mitchell in the second half. Cam Guthrie standing up at times. Really great that they can stand up in a big game.
Yeah, they're just great kids. You know, they've really put a lot of work into their footy, and you know as well as anyone how good they are and how determined they are. So we're really happy with how they win and how we won the game.
Well done, mate. Get in there and enjoy it.
Thanks, buddy.
And you would be scratching your head if you were the Hawks, I think, because every season you wipe the slate clean and you think, well, we've got a crack at them this time. And during this game, there were 4 or 5 times they appeared to have it won, but they couldn't go on with it. They couldn't capitalise. I've seen this story before, and it must hurt, Tom.
Yeah, it would have to hurt. We saw the despair of the Hawthorn players in the preliminary final loss to Collingwood. Certainly were very good last week against Collingwood. It was the same names again, minus Cameron Ling. It was great to see him out there with some of his former teammates, but James Bartell, Jimmy I should say, James Kelly, Joel Selwood, Joel Corey, really solid efforts.
Well, this rivalry has spoiled us, and it lacked nothing today. Geelong get home in a thriller. 14-8-92, Hawthorn 13-12-90. Plenty more to come.
Well, there was a bit of blood spilt today, wasn't there? That wasn't that, obviously, but Geelong in the end by 2 points in an absolute thriller. They got the only goals of the last quarter. Hawthorn couldn't manage one and Geelong kicked 4, and it was 92-90 in the end. The big forwards for Geelong and then midfield grunt really making a difference at the end. And what about the emotion, Lee and Tim, for this match? I mean, this is a round 2 of the season. Look at this.
This is what staggers me about this team, Lee, the fact that they've done so much. They've been the benchmark side now for 5 years, but they still don't concede, and they still get this sort of enjoyment out of a victory.
They are just so competitive, and I've heard players talk before. These guys don't like losing a game of cards. They are just so competitive, and it shows the emotion. Even here, Stevie Johnson, it's round 2. They're coming off a premiership, yet they're still that pumped about a win. They're just an amazing side.
How can you be this hungry for this long? I mean, you think they'd have a full belly. And for Buddy, well, a good start today, but they just couldn't find a goal in the end, could they? They had a couple of chances in that last quarter.
Well, they did. They had a lot of chances in that game, and you just wonder. I mean, so Alex Ferguson talks about this squeaky bottom thing, about how players just at certain stages of the season, when things are really on the line, where they just stop performing and are incapable of actually putting another side away. And I just wonder whether or not Hawthorn have got a real problem now mentally about Geelong.
And Mitchell, the fact they got hold of him was important, but for Geelong, this is just massive because they lost so narrowly to Fremantle last week.
Yeah, they were terrific, and I think that the whole thing there was that intensity of Geelong. They sustained in that last quarter when things were starting to get really tough. Geelong just kept moving the ball forward and really grind away and deserved their win.
Lee, good luck for you next weekend. It was a classic. We expected it. We got it. We've got Collingwood and Carlton this Friday night. What a beauty. Geelong by 2 points over the Hawks at the G.